TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
What's up, fam? This is Big Q from the Sports Coma. Much love to the family members. Appreciate y'all. The PRO Media Network is back at it again. Last year, we gave away several PS4s and games. So this year, we're raffling off a PS5. To enter for your chance to win, simply click the link below and fill out all the necessary information to be eligible. Sign up for the raffle. It's $25 to enter. You gain an opportunity to win a system, the PS5 system. Like I said, it's a one remote and everything in it that goes with the full system. These things are hard to come by. It could be yours. Into the raffle today, $25 get you in. There's also a deal when you buy more than one ticket to up your chances of winning. Jump in there. It also benefits the platform as well. So feel free to sign up for the first annual PS5 raffle from the Pro Media Network. Thank you for participating and much love. Big ups to you.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon'?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, Who That Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Tomorrow we had a good week of practice. Tomorrow we'll go through what would be our normal Saturday review, but obviously, it's an important game, and there's a good chance of rain, 54% chance of rain. So the conditions will be important if it's that type of game.
You guys are you able to do anything to prepare for that?
We do. Yeah. Look, you do wet ball drills, and you focus on the ball security. We do have a game from last year. If you look closely at like the Ram game that was played with a considerable amount of rain, so you can just get a feel for what the surface there is good, but it just gives you an idea when you're watching that game. How it unfolds relative to the weather.
When you talking about Washington playing the Rams? Washington
last year was at home versus the LA Rams in a game that was, with a lot of weather.
Hey, Sean, the team's been kind of up and down like the Saints have been. Do you look forward to the bye week, or is that like coming at a good time? Or
it wouldn't be because we're up and down. In other words, you can't control it, and then. The plus would be just relative to a handful of players that are real close to coming back and being healthy. It gives them an additional week. That's where my mind would go with the bye relative to our team. Relative to the consistency and being more, you can't, I don't want to say you can't play enough, but you look forward to the next game to see the corrections and see the technique played better. But I look at it a little bit more as to where we're at, who has a chance to be back versus Seattle, that type of thing.
Jameis talked this week about trying to earn your trust and prove himself in different situations. How does that work with you, just feeling more comfortable? Is it just playing more games, getting more time with someone?
Well, look, some of that is game related, and it's hard to explain, but you're watching a game unfold relative to how's the other side of the ball playing, how are we playing in the kicking game, and that, if you just took a strict analytical approach to third downs and fourth downs, et cetera, I think the flaw in that would be that there are other outside factors, and that would be, obviously the field conditions, how's the other side of the ball playing. So a lot of that goes into decisions we make, whether they're aggressive or less aggressive. But he's doing a real good job with diving into this week, each week's plan, and understanding initially what we think it takes to win. That could change. And I thought he played well last week. So, a lot of that is week to week, just relative to how aggressive we approach a game in any phase, or even in the kicking game.
Was Gibson somebody you remember taking a look at when he was coming out of Memphis, I think last year?
Yeah.
He was kind of a unique player in college.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always interesting to watch these guys. The difficult ones are the players that you knew you had a real high grade on, and you just weren't in a position to draft them. And then it didn't mean they were early picks. It might have been you had a high grade in the fourth round or third round, and then your gut is right and you see him excelling somewhere else, and you hope that it's just in the AFC. And then, so I think we, going through the evaluation process, spend a lot of time on these players. And so to see sometimes players end up in a role maybe that was different than you expected is always interesting. That would be something that happens every year, though. That you're paying attention. The ones you don't regret, but you look more out of the ones that you don't feel like you had a clear enough evaluation on, and all of a sudden they're surfacing somewhere as, a really good player. And you're like, man, let me see the reports. Why did we possibly miss that? It's easier to just know sometimes you're just going to lose a good player because you weren't in that, position to pick them.
Coach Payton dropping science on the upcoming matchup with the Washington football team, the team without a name. But they have certain weapons on the team also that can really be impactful. So more than likely, the Saints will definitely have to bring it up against the Washington football team. Much love to the great Saint Think Tank. I appreciate you guys for joining us. Like I've been saying for some time now, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q. I'm in the house. Much love to the great Saint Think Tank. I salute the Who Dat Nation, the Black and Gold Nation, the best in the business, fam. We up in this thing. And even though we are the best in the business, our team of it are not currently living up to our expectations. Some of our expectations anyway. But anyway, Coach Payton dropping science. And, of course, the question was asked about the Jameis situation, man, and gaining his trust. This is something that is going to be going on for this entire season until Jameis gets a firmer grasp on the Saints offense. So right now it is indeed a work in progress, but what is not a work in progress is the fact that the Saints know how to run the football, which is something we're going to need in this upcoming matchup against the Washington football team, the team with no name. Big ups to the great Saint Think Tank. If you're in here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, and join the great Saint Think Tank in the Who Dat Nation. Much love to the fam. So this one's called TSC Saints Need a Win heading into the bye week. It's really the Friday stream. Usually don't too much do Saturday streams during the season. Had a scheduling conflict, couldn't do the game. The show last night, but we here on Saturday, baby, to make it pop. So with that being said, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, in particular a Saturday, and big ups to the great Saint Think Tank and the entire Who Dat Nation. All right, Be Kind is in the building. Who that to you? Shedrick. Who that to you? Elite. Who that to you? Marcus. Who that to you in the building? Appreciate you. Chemo. Who that to you? Saints 01. Who that to you? Pick It and Flick It. Who that to you? Andre. Who that to you? Fam Slade. who that to you? Appreciate you as well. All right, much love to the rest of the family members chiming up in this thing. Ant-Man, who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Venecio, who that to you, fam? Appreciate your boy. Cuts, who that to you? Chevy, who that to you? Gabriel, who that to you, fam? Appreciate you as well. Javier's in the building. Who that to you? Dada, my dog Dada in the building as well. Big ups to you. Appreciate you. All right, who else we got chiming in? What's up, Lori, baby? Who that to you? Much love to the queens. What's up, Chris? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Haven, who that to you? All right, appreciate you. 504, Cole, who that to you, man? We need this one, I think, Sean Alicia's Jameis's game. Yeah, and a part of that, and we talked about that as well. What's up, Big Sean? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you being here as well, fam. Much love. Kimberly, who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Much love to the queen. This is an interesting bit of news because we talked all about that in the previous streams about what about the issues with Jameis, and of course, seeing Jameis looked pretty good in the last contest, and then all of a sudden he just was like floating out there. It's like, what the hell happened? We have synergy and energy issues, and then you have an in and out situation where you got a quarterback going in and out of the system, and it's not like the quarterback is doing something that Jameis is not doing. It's not like he's coming out there and he's running a version of offense where he's throwing the ball over the field. He's simply being used as a runner. So my question is to the great Saint Think Tank, if you want to use him as a runner, why don't you use him in the same capacity with Jameis on the field? Direct snaps to Taysom Hill, a fake snap to Jameis, or a direct snap to Taysom is the same effect, isn't it? At least it gives him Jameis as a decoy to look at, like he's somebody if you need to use that play, Coach Payton, because that seems to be one of the favorite plays that Coach Payton likes to use, that shotgun snap play to Taysom, and he takes off 4 or 5 yards from behind the line of scrimmage, just running over people. But can't you use that with Jameis? Anything that kind of, because listen, this is the pecking order of it, and I'm going to get into the stories and I'm opening up the lines of communication. What's up, Kelly? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Much love, Kelly. What's up, Anthony? Who that to Anthony and Kelly? Much love to both the family members. Appreciate y'all being there. That's the question. The question is, if there's any way we, because the issue is this: they had a competition, if you won't call it that. And Jameis, he wanted running away, so he did what you wanted him to do. You put him in the competition, and he beat Taysom, didn't he? All right. If that's the case, he gets the ball. He's the starting quarterback. He gets the ball, get the snaps. But anything Taysom is doing, it's not like you can't do that with Jameis is in the game, meaning Jameis back at the quarterback, and he can still run Taysom as a running back. He puts him in there, and if anybody, it obstructs is Elvin Kamara. So, I mean, it's not like you have to take Jameis off the field for Taysom. What I'm saying is it got to be a way where they can coexist with harmony, meaning that Coach Payton can't be getting in the way of putting Taysom in there when Jameis has a rhythm. If Jameis Winston is flowing, don't touch him. Leave him in the game. Do not mess with his rhythm by putting Taysom Hill in there so he could take off like a running back. That you can't. That's going to be kind of a problem. You know, we've seen it as a problem in the game against the Giants. Now, I'm not saying that Taysom was a big part of helping the Saints stay in the game, but there is rhythm issues that are occurring, as you're seeing, as a result of operating this way. It's not like I'm saying, it's not like Taysom is providing something from a quarterback's perspective that Jameis is not doing. All that is strictly a running situation where he just turns into a running back. We can still do that with Taysom and Jameis in there at the same time, if that's the case. But anything not to keep that, to keep obstructing the harmony of what Jameis has with the offense. After all, he is the starter. He won the competition, if you won't call it that. What's up, Mookie? Big ups to your fam. Marcus says, Payton trying to keep Winston on the cheap, don't want him to hit the incentives. 504 Coach said, great point. Big Q put Taysom in the backfield. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a way to figure this stuff out where we don't have to remove the man off the field and pack in his rhythm. And this is something that we have to just be mindful of. True Louise Animal as well. Much love. Anthony says, snap it to Taysom. He flicks it to Jameis, then a lone bomb to Callaway. Yeah, you can mix it up. Imagine it. Where is that offensive genius? So what the family members keep throwing at me about Coach Payton and how he can able to conjure up all these plays. Well, right now I'm looking at that Taysom play. That's not very imaginative at all. I mean, and then it's very predictable. You know, so it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I'm saying we can do a lot better than that if we put our imagination to it. is what I'm saying. What's up, Tori? Who that to you? Brother Jerry, who that to you? Good to see you in there, man. Much love. Jasper, who that to you, fam? Appreciate y'all chiming in. Please hit the like button, fam. If you hadn't already did that already, hit the like button for me as we roll on. But that's one of the things that I noticed as we get into the preview stream here. I'll get going. So without further ado, fam, let's hit it and get right on into it. As the big things, you heard the reporter alluded to the fact that there's going to be a little rain. That's football weather. So with that being said, the running game will be in full throttle. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage and run the ball really well will be fine. The Saints are a pretty good run stuffing team. They currently, through the last 4 contests, the Saints are holding people to 66 points per game running the ball on the ground. So I'm going to show you the statistics momentarily, but it's 66 yards flat. The Saints are holding people trying to run the ball. A rainy game like this favors the Saints. And then on a slick field, neutralizes a shifty quarterback that like to run all around and do all this kind of stuff up in the air. This is a north-south running situation with offense versus defense, pummeling ball control game, depending on how wet the field is. So we'll see how it goes. Let's get into this weather report right here from NOLA.com. Amy's on the scoop, and she's covering it, saying this was called with a chance of rain for the Saints game in Washington. Preparation for conditions will be important. You heard Coach Payton. I played a little extra minutes on Coach Payton breaking that down about ball control drills that they use. What's up, Yolanda? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you being here. Much love to you as well. So, I mean, it's intriguing to say the least how the game changed playing, but ball control is definitely a key to these rainy day games, depending on how, it's a 50%, I think, chance of rain. They're saying New Orleans Saints could be playing in their first game this season with weather as a potential factor, as conditions for their Sunday afternoon game against the Washington football team in Landover, Maryland, called for rain because the field at FedEx Field is Bermuda grass, latitude 36 Bermuda grass to be specific. The expected rain from overnight Saturday into Sunday could make for a soggy surface. Saints coach Sean Payton noted that surface at FedEx Field is new for this season, which will help, but the team is taking all precautions necessary in order to be best position themselves for success. The footing is good. This is absolutely, Chemo. I was just about to touch on the footing and the cleats, making sure you have the proper cleats and the right inches on the spikes for what you need to do in there, and not all that slipping going on. So yeah, absolutely right. You got that right before I about to get up on that thing. But you're absolutely right. The footing, we got to come up in there with the right spikes, and we got to handle business. We got to have it correct. We can't be having all the slipping down and the fall and all this kind of stuff. We got to come correct and make sure we do it right. So footing most certainly is definitely pivotal in this type of situation. So let's get on up into it. Payton says there is a whole method to scouting playing surfaces, including how they watch film closely to see what shoes players are wearing during inclement conditions at Grassfield Stadium. Payton says there's one game from last year at Washington at rainy conditions, Washington's Week 5 game against the Rams. Looking at that tape, Payton says helps you get a feel for what could potentially happen for Sunday. As far as the Saints' footwear is concerned, receiver Deontay Harris said Payton is always preaching about wearing the right shoes, no doubt. Quote, as soon as he knows we're going to have some rain, we got to be in certain cleats, Harris said. He said it today. He always puts an emphasis on it because if you slipping around and slipping down, it's going to be a bad day and you're going to get your ass thrown into the doghouse. And I've seen that happen with players, Mike Bell and several others, who didn't listen to Coach Payton when he said, come on right with them shoes. So he don't play with that. So, I mean, but that's something that, and listen, we know that rainy games or games like that gives you an opportunity to be a north-south team, meaning you straight ahead, all of this cutting and all this old stuff like that, all the most screens. And if a slick field like that, all that, you got to get all that up out of there. You can't be doing all them damn screens. It makes it very simple. It turns into a north-south game, and we got to be able to dominate on the line of scrimmage. So this team that we going against, the Washington football team, is not very good at stopping the run. They allow you to rush at 118.5 yards per contest. So they're not a very good rush stuffing defense from the 4 games that they played, as they're going into it 2-2. And then they allow you to chunk at them 307.5 yards per game. So this is not a very good defense, to be honest with you. Now, they do have good players on this defense, but they give up the propensity for you to operate with the run situation, which the Saints do have the proclivity to do. We can run. If we put our mind to it, we'll run over your ass. That's what we got to put our mind to and own exponentially, as that's just what it's got to be. Now, let's keep it moving, fam. Let's go on to the next one as we show you the injury report, as this one is the injury report we got to show you. And, of course, as of Friday, because Saturday's not out yet, if they do drop it, 4 New Orleans Saints players were listed on the Friday injury report. And, of course, McCoy, who's out. Armstead is out with one with a calf, one with an elbow. JT Gray fully practiced on Friday with the back issue, and Laddie Daddy fully practiced with the hand all the way through. So he'll be active, and he's on the plus side of that thing. So we got a small injury report. I appreciate that. You look at the Washington football team, they got a bunch of people out. Like, it's too many people to go over, but a lot of interesting people. The offensive lineman, Brandon Scherf, is out in the game. Dahami Brown is another dude we talked about when we had Louis on the show the last stream. Antonio Gibson's they top back. He's saying they're going to play. And so is Curtis Samuel and a couple of these other guys. Jonathan Allen and Payne and all these guys are supposed to play. A lot of guys are on the banged up list here, but they are supposed to play. You see Payne, Darian Payne. You see Matt Leonidas, J.D. McKissick, James Smith-Williams, and Benjamin St. Juice. All those guys are fully practiced and should play in the football game in some capacity. So good news on the injury report for the black and gold here, man, as it stands. As a shrinking injury report is a plus, in my opinion, as we keep moving this thing ahead. So we covered the weather. We covered the injury report. Let's move on and get into a little bit more information pertaining to the Washington football team. Let's get into the breakdown of this thing as well. Let's get into some of the statistics here, fam. Let me show you these statistics right here of the Washington football team. Washington is currently 2-2 right now. They're 1-1 at home. They're second place in the NFC East in the standings behind the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-1, positioned in between them and the 1-3 Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Both teams there. Saints 2-2, 1-1, and how they play. But anyway, we're going to get into some of the statistics here at their quarterback position. So if you take a look up here, see Jameis Winston's stats as it stands: 55 out of 86 for 613, 8 touchdowns and 2 picks for Jameis in the year. Not bad numbers by Jameis Winston. Now, Tyler Heineke, as he called, is a guy 82 of 118 for 960, 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Pretty decent numbers for this young quarterback. So we got to watch out for that. We got to watch out for that. We got to watch out for that. So he's a guy that does have the propensity to use his legs. He's an athletic quarterback. And don't be surprised, this guy can throw him down the field too. He's a pretty decent quarterback in that system. So just because you never heard of him, don't underestimate Heineke. All right, and of course, you look at Alvin Kamara, 78 carries for 297 is the Saints' top rushing back. Gibson, who's Antonio Gibson, is a very good running back for Washington. He's 59 carries for 253 yards, and he has 1 rushing touchdown as it stands. The Saints' top wide receiver currently right now is Deontay Harris, leading them with 11 catches for 164 yards, 1 touchdown. And their wide receiver is a very good wide receiver, Terry McLaurin. This dude is really good. 25 catches, 354. He has 3 touchdowns. So Heineke and McLaurin, these guys have a good chemistry building between both of those guys. And because some of these guys you might have not heard of, but I want to put you on mind of people. If you got guys like Darren Waller from the Raiders, who we played, didn't know anything, he took you apart. McLaurin is a dude that can make big plays downfield for the black and gold. And Heineke can throw that ball and move around if you need him to. So this guy is a guy that really comfortable, got a pretty decent grasp of what Riverboat Ryan wants him to do. Of course, we covered the injury report as we kind of scroll down here to just to look at the statistics. Sometimes statistics tell a full story. Sometimes they don't. 23.5 points per game for the Saints with 17.3 given up. With numbers like that, the Saints should be at least 3-1 this season. The Giants game was just a simple collapse on the back end of the game. The Saints were up by 10. That was supposed to be their game. They just collapsed and gave it up. 23.5 versus 17.3. Saints giving up only 17. That number's good enough to be at least 3-1, but it is what it is. You see Washington right now, they are 25.3 points per game and giving up 30.5 points a contest. That's a lot of pointage that they're giving up. Total yards, 289 flat for the Saints versus 346.5 by the Washington football team. As you can see, they can chunk up that yardage. Offensively speaking, they pass the ball around. Passing game produces 243.3 yards per contest, and they rush at 103.3. So that's pretty formidable for 346.5 for the Giants offense. I mean, for the Redskins, Washington football team's offense. Saints at 289 flat, 156.3 Saints passing through 4 games right now. As you can see, the rushing attack is 133 rounded per contest. So the Saints are running the football. Right now, the Saints at 156.3. Not a lot going on there yet, but I'm expecting that to pick up as we kind of steady ourselves here. Now let's go on to the defensive side of the ball. The Saints 360.5 is what they allow, which is 294.5 through the air. The Saints allowing that on defense, and they shutting you down. You only allow 66 yards per rushing game against the Saints rush attack. That's pretty damn good. Tops in the NFL. 425.5 is what the Redskins defense give Redskins. The Washington football team defense give up, or the the Washington football team's defense give up 425.5, 307 yards per game through the secondary. And then 118.5 is what they allow for you to run on them. That's a lot of yards, man. A lot of yards, despite the fact that they average 25 points a game while giving up 30.5 points a game. This damn team only 2-2, which shows you that to a degree the numbers are a bit deceiving. If you look at the numbers, it's no way a team that according statistically speaking, that's averaging 25.3 yards per game while giving up over 30 points per game should be 2-2. That don't make any sense to me. Which showing you that there's definitely a discrepancy between the numbers and what they're doing. They're 2-2 right now, and you're playing them at home in an environment that they're very comfortable in, and we have to be mindful of the fact that this team is not as they're gonna come to play. They're gonna come to play, and the Saints just got to do what they do. Just handle business. Just handle business like we know they can, and we should have some success here. We can't be having these breakdowns and all this kind of stuff here. Now, if we go back, just for a split second, in thought to the Giants debacle of last Sunday, and you go back and you look that up and you say to yourself, what the hell's going on with the Giants? And you know how the Giants did what they did and all this kind of stuff. How was Jones, whose style, if you watch Daniel Jones and Taylor Heineke, these guys kind of move around the game type of style. These guys have a very similar style to a degree. They're athletic quarterbacks that move around and they make plays with their feet. They're intelligent quarterbacks. And unlike Heineke's the guy that a lot of people, really don't talk about much, but he's a guy that has a grasp of their system and he can hurt you. They're comfortable with him throwing the ball 40 plus times a contest if they want to beat you. Matter of fact, that's what Louis told me. Louis told me, hey man, Q, this is the thing, man. We comfortable. If you stop the rushing attack, we won't tell a Heineke to throw the ball 40 times a game and whatever it takes. And I'm like, really? Hey, yeah, I'm with you on that, because that's what the hell I want you to do. I want you to go ahead on and put that ball up into the secondary 40-something times, see how that work on you. Heineke's a good dude, but there's no way you want your young quarterback doing that kind of stuff. But listen, the more you put that ball up in that secondary, with a pissed off Saints defense going into the bye, we had a breakdown on the back of the Giants contest, but come on, put that ball up in that secondary. Put that goddamn ball up there. Yeah, let's do that. Put it on up there. Let's do that, because that's the game plan. You got to do it. We're going to get into that a little bit more. Let me go ahead on and finish up here on the statistics here. But listen, this is a team we got to take care of business. Now, the question is, which Saint team comes to play this week? Week 1. Which team comes to play this week? Week 1, destroy the Green Bay Packers and leaves up, just shock the hell out the NFL in week 1. Week 2, offensive line does not show up to play against the Carolina Panthers. Wasn't even in that one. Week 3, come back with a good victory against the Patriots. Week 4, leading by double digits in your own building and collapse in the fourth quarter. Which Saint team comes up to play against this Washington football team? Because it varies according to the pattern of what we're seeing. One game we hear, 1 week we not. That's not what it's supposed to be for a veteran-led team. This is not no young people, a younger rookie guy with no concept of things. This is a veteran, still very much a veteran-led club. We're not supposed to have such discrepancies, man. We're not supposed to. Not for that locker room, not for the amount of experience that we have. Are we supposed to gyrate this much? I mean, come on. It's not supposed to happen for a functional football team. So we some kind of way along the line, we're going to have to steady the ship and be able to do what we're supposed to do here. Let's move on, fam. Let me get into the hold on. Let me get the football team's depth chart put up here on the screen, as you can see. All right, let's get into it here. Taylor Heineke, like I just gave you his season numbers up to par right now. He got a pretty, like I'm going to tell you again, he got a pretty damn good grasp on that Washington offense, just to let you know. Gibson is kind of banged up, but he's a good running back. And when you pair him with guys like J.D. McKissick, who's a pretty decent complement back who catches the ball out the backfield as well. I was watching tape on him. They got a fantastic receiver in McLaurin, who is their top wide receiver. He's a very good wide receiver. Samuels is supposed to play in this game. He's a deep threat guy that helps stretches the field. And then, of course, I was warned about undrafted people by Louis, which was DeAndre Carter and several other offensive players to make mention of. But the reality is you want to make them one-dimensional, which the Saints can do. 66 yards per contest in a rainy game, sloppy field perhaps. We can stop the running attack down. But all of the stuff that goes with sloppiness and a guy moving all around and doing all this kind of stuff, no. The Saints are going to have to be smart and dedicated and intelligent in our blitzing packages and schemes. We were too soft last week against the Giants. I don't know what the hell was going on in Dennis Allen's mind, but he didn't set the tone in the dome. He was supposed to send them guys out there and put some pain on Jones to let him know that it wasn't going to be an easy W in the building. It wasn't. We didn't do enough blitzing. We let that guy stand his ass up in that pocket. He got comfortable. He didn't even have to run out of the pocket. He stood in there and made throws. Now, in this situation, in the field where it's sloppy right here, it does cut the mobility of the quarterback down to a degree because it is a slippery, sloppy field. So the Saints will have to be able to be smart and intelligent with their blitzes and have to dial up some more blitzes for this guy. While stopping Gibson, we're going to have to get to this guy Heineke and make it rough for him. If we can do better than 0 sacks last week against the Giants, we're going to have to do something here. We can't have 2 0-sack performances to these NFC least teams. This is ridiculous. So, I mean, this is preposterous, man. But anyway, let's get over this stuff here. Adam Humphries, if some of you might remember Humphries from his days as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's also like a slot weapon for these guys. But they got a lot of youth around and guys that can move around and make plays for them. Ricky Seals-Jones is their tight end. Of course, Logan Thomas, which was the huge tight end they had, he was put on the IR several days ago, last Wednesday to be precise. So he was the top tight end weapon. It's now Ricky Seals-Jones, the backup in there, making plays, which is, he's feasible. He's standard, to be honest with you. The offensive line, it's nothing to really talk about with the offensive line, just like the Giants, but you got to have to do something. Their best offensive lineman, in my opinion, might be Eric Flowers, or Brandon Schiff is another dude that's pretty good. So the matchup issues and concerns for them are Kasumi. With how does he hand up against Cam Jordan? Well, Cam, and we know we're going to have to get pressure with these guys. We're going to have to get pressure some kind of way. Now, we talked about the tight linebacker. We talked about the few of the linebackers the Saints had. Zach Bourne in particular needs to be utilized as a pass rusher. I've said this before, and I said this, and I'm going to say it again. When you have other guys coming in like Pete Werner, and Pete Werner is, doing his thing out there playing and having an excellent performance, that keeps Bourne off there. You see Werner playing. Well, there's still a spot for Bourne because you're still without, you're going to be without Peyton Turner in this contest. Perhaps you might want to start using Zach Bourne in the capacity as a situational pass rusher. You're going to need some help there. You're going to have to send these guys in here and get some pressure on this quarterback. You can't let them stand up there and get a rhythm with McLaurin and the rest of these wide receivers and these running backs. That's just not going to do. Saints have, that's key to it, is they got to put pressure on the quarterback more than what the hell they did against the Washington Redskins last week. I mean, the New York Giants last week. These NFC least teams are something else. But the offensive line is Leno, Flowers, Roulier, Shifts out, so Schweitzer will get in there, and Kasumi. No big names except for Eric Flowers there. Charles Leno's not bad. Well, Schiff is out. So the thing is, the Saints should be able to get pressure and should get pressure. The Saints are a top 5, top 10 defense. We cannot, and I emphasize again, cannot get sacks, not get pressure on this Washington football team. We can't let Taylor Heineke, the guy with the liquor name, sit back there and celebrate. We got to put some pain on this goddamn guy's ass, just like we were supposed to put on Jones last week with the Giants. But it's ridiculous. So we got to do it. Dennis Allen, you got to deal up some goddamn pressure, man. And it can't be the same laughable ass pressure against the Giants. That was terrible. That bullcrap pressure you did last week, man. All right, let's finish this up here. Defense is where the hearts is. Of course, we talked about defense, and Louis spoke about the offense is now what they are, and the defense is kind of, sooner or later, the defense is going to catch up. It might take them a few more weeks to get it going, but they have talent there. Chase Young, the overall first-round draft pick, leads this defense. They got really good players like Darren Payne and Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. These guys are really talented players. Jamin Davis is another good one you mentioned, but a lot of people we talk about, like the cornerback secondary, which is got good names, but they haven't quite gelled yet, which is very unique for a Riverboat Ryan club. Usually Riverboat Ryan is going to do two things for you when he come in the building. Number one, he's going to get your running game right. And number two, he's going to get your defense right. That's two things that Riverboat Ryan likes to do. He runs the ball well. He's old school. He likes the defense and the run. He comes from that Bill Cowher school. So, I mean, that's something that's eventually down the line, you'll see the Washington football team's defense start to kick in and get better. It's only a matter of time. I don't think it happens against the Saints. Hopefully it doesn't happen against the Saints. That's all I can say about it. So anyway, let's get back into that. As you can see, really good talent on this defense, man. My goodness. And then you look at the secondary there, Kendall Fuller, Landon Collins, Kareem Curl, and William Jackson III are just a handful full of guys that they have in the secondary. So they have talent all over this team. Currently, just most of the time, these guys are not playing very well right now. Okay, special teams have Dustin Hopkins. If your name sound familiar to you, yes, that's the same Dustin Hopkins the Saints had, who's a pretty decent. The Saints put him in the street some time ago, but Hopkins turned out to be a pretty good kicker for the Washington football team. Tress Way is the punter, and punt and kick returner is DeAndre Carter, who we were talking about, and then long snappers Cameron Cheeseman. So as you can see, listen. Let's get into it. What do we need to do, Q, to beat the Washington football team? Number one, it's the same thing. Neutralizing the rushing attack, taking Gibson out, putting a lock on a rushing attack, one-dimensionalizing the Washington football team, putting the pressure on Taylor Heineke. And then what we do after that, Q, then we put blitz on Taylor Heineke and bust the piss out that beer bottle. We got to make sure we put that beer bottle on the ground and crash it down. We got to put Heineke down and bust that beer bottle. We can't allow him to make plays and stand in the pocket, not touched or standing tall and making plays. No, he has to feel the wrath of the Juice Boys. He got to feel the wrath of the Saints defense. He got to feel the wrath of a team going into the bye, and we get back a lot of players. We get Onyemata back. So let's give a big effort and give all that we can as a football team into this matchup to make a statement going into the bye, and then we will get players back. David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, and a few other players back on the other side to get ready for a Seattle football team that probably more than likely will be without y'all know what I'm talking about. I forgot them. And Russell, so oh my, did y'all see that picture of Russell's finger? Oh my goodness. Boy, that big monster in Aaron, man, he done tore up more quarterbacks' hands than anybody in the league. But anyway, that's the first part about it. is that the Saints have to one-dimensionalize. You cannot let Antonio Gibson get going, even though he's dealing with an injury. You cannot let Gibson get going. You got to put all the pressure on Heineke and then turn around and bust that bottle. You got to break that bottle, slam it on the goddamn ground. We got to put pressure on top of this guy. You put pressure in his face. I don't care how young and good he is, he's going to eventually crack, because most quarterbacks, that's how it is. When you start roughing them up and throwing them down and knocking them around, you're going to have issues. So I think that's a big part of it. And then on the offensive side of the game, the Saints have to dominate the line of scrimmage by being able to run the ball and control the clock, setting up the play action and doing what they need to do. So bottom line, we just going to have to do that, fam. And then you're going to get opportunities to take shots down the field. You're going to get a few opportunities to take shots down the field. So we'll see how it all flows. But really, from an offensive standpoint for the Black and Gold Nation, establishing the running attack is pivotal, because it's play action off the back of the rushing attack. If the statistics are showing people anything, right now the Saints through 4 games of the season so far are averaging 156.3 yards throwing the ball. You get me? And you're 156, just over 156 yards of passing offense every game through 4 matches. Now you ask me, Q, how much are they averaging running the ball? 133. That's right, 133. So what you're saying? I'm saying that they're throwing the ball at 156 and running it at 133. What's that tell you? That tell you that the Saints they're going to move the ball through the rushing attack. And I told people that. I told them that. And even Louis got it to it. He got it like, man, this ain't the same Saints offense. I made him. I told him, I said, listen, that's not how we operate. We don't operate in throwing it 230 and all that kind of stuff. That'll come later on once the man get a grasp of the system. But the Saints are an elite level rushing attack that sets up the play action, that gets opportunities to throw the ball down the field. That's what's going to come to. Until Jameis get a firmer grasp on the offense, then we'll do some other stuff. But right now, that's good enough to beat teams. The Saints set up and run. They should be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. Come to play. It's our line against it's us against them, fam. It's us against them. Something's got to give here in this situation. And hopefully the Saints do what they need to do to beat the Washington football team. Because listen, that last week game against that winless Giants club, coming in here and beating the Saints in their own building, was disgusting. It was one of the worst damn things I've seen in a long time. I'm not going to lie to you. I was pissed. I was pissed on that, and I do not like it at all. So with that being said, we cannot lay another egg to any other goddamn team in the NFC least. We got to be able to stump on these teams and do everything we can to push these teams up out of here. Bottom line, we know we can run the ball. Let's run that ball. We know we can stop them from running the ball. Let's stop them from running the ball. It has to come with a mentality and an attitude, and we have to be on our game. We can't go up in there with that foolishness. We can't go over there with that confusion. We can't go up there with that foolishness. We got to stop all of this up and down crap that we doing, this up and down bullshit that we doing, and come to play and execute when we supposed to execute. And we got to be smarter with the play calls too. We got to be smarter with the substitutions. We can't be throwing Taysom Hill in there when Jameis is flowing. If Jameis is flowing, we got to leave him alone and let him flow, coach. Don't be throwing Taysom in here just to run the fucking ball. Let him be, or if you want him as a running back, put him next to Taysom. But whatever you do not mess up the passing. If the man is building a harmony and a rhythm, do not put Taysom Hill in there so he can run the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage so he can pick up 3 yards or whatever it is. I mean, come on. That's a real thing. We have to be able to be smart, and if we want to use Taysom, let's be a little bit more imaginative in this stuff. We can still do what you want to do without disrupting Taysom Hill's, Jameis's rhythm. So, I mean, this is what it's coming down to. And by all means, please, if Alvin Kamara's running like that, give Alvin Kamara a fullback so he can get touchdowns. Let Alvin Kamara, he ain't saying nothing now, but keep what you're doing and let Taysom Hill get in the red zone when Alvin work to get you all the way down there to the red zone, and then you put Taysom in there in the red zone to get touchdowns. See how long that lasts before Alvin Kamara start getting upset, because he was already running with a head full of steam in that Giants matchup, showing pissed off. You got to reward the running back if he gets you into the red zone. You don't take him out and let somebody else get in there. No, let him score. And that's a reward for him running hard to get you down there. So, I mean, we got to think about this stuff, and we got to be able to do what we're supposed to do. So Dennis Allen needs to dial up the blitz. He has to do better than what he did against the Giants, because that was some bull crap, man. That was some bull. Anyway, man, let's keep it going, man. I'm gonna open up the chat for a few hours, fam, for about an hour and a half. I'm not gonna have it open for that long, but we're gonna open up the chat. I'm gonna let the family members chime in, get their word in edgewise, and then, like I said, I'm gonna bounce out of here. I got a Tough Tiger Talk show to do later on today. I'm gonna be recapping the LSU Tigers versus the Kentucky Wildcats matchup. We're gonna be doing that on the Tough Tiger Talk stream. So if you don't know about that, if you're a Tiger LSU person like myself, you can feel free to go to Tough Tiger Talk platform on YouTube and subscribe, man, because we'll be over there tonight talking about it. Who that to you, Ramsey? Good to see you. DLP and the rest of the family members. Appreciate y'all being in the building. Much love to y'all, fam. Appreciate you. Swag is in the building as well. Travis, what's up, fam? Big ups to you. 2814, Travis says, over the Skins. Okay, Skins. I keep saying Skins, man. It's so weird that they don't have a name. The Washington football team. All right, DLP says defense was a complete letdown. Defensive line has to get in QB face. If not, it'll be another long day. Absolutely. You cannot, and I mean, I have to emphasize not, you cannot let Tyler Heineke or Dan Jones or any of these guys, Matt Jones, or any of these guys stand up in the pocket and not be, not be knocked around. You can't let these guys just stand and they're professionals. They're professionals. You can't let a professional quarterback stand in the pocket and just not challenge him. You can't do that. He'll tear you apart. That's what happened with Dan Jones. Dan Jones didn't even have to scramble. He scrambled twice in that game. There was no need for him to scramble. He felt totally comfortable in the pocket because of this soft-ass 9 blitzing plays that Dennis Allen's doing. What would you deal up a weak-ass game plan like that where you got all that noise in the dome on your side? You ain't going to blitz the hell out of that guy. But like we're saying, most of the time people learn in their mistakes. So hopefully we're not a yo-yo team where we win and we beating Green Bay next moment, then losing to Carolina the next moment, beating New England next moment, and then coming home in the dome and losing to a team that's 0-3. So I mean that's the epitome of ridiculousness there. But anyway, we got the Iceman chime, and then we're gonna bring him in. If you want to get in the chat, you hit the top of the chat. The link is pinned to the top of the chat to be on the show today. Here we go. All right, Iceman, welcome to the stream. What's up, bro?
Hello, Q. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Iceman. How you doing?
Okay, perfect, man. I'm great, man. It's been a little minute since I called in, but
yeah,
man,
bro. I'm about to say it, bro. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. What you been up to, bro?
Man, I've been trying to do like Verlin, man. Stay in that dome of silence, man.
Big ups to my dog, Verlin.
Yeah, man. But as usual, man, I got some things I've been looking at. Couple things. I just want to start by saying I'm totally expecting the Saints to win this game. They should win this game. We do have the talent and the coaches. I know we got some injuries, but I still think that we have enough to get the job done. Like you said last week, I really don't have any explanation for the New York Giants game. It's not something that you want to see, but I do think they should be able to combat that. And I do have some questions, just like honestly, like why did that even happen? I don't even know like how like a veteran team could get caught like nap. I don't even think they got caught napping. It's just like they had it and then just kind of let it slip through. But I don't think that'll be the case this week. I think you're absolutely right about Taylor Heineke. I do think he can hurt you outside the pocket with his feet and his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and he can throw the ball, man. So I think that our secondary has to be on point, but even more, we gotta start getting to these quarterbacks more efficiently, man. Not getting a sack on Daniel Jones, we can't allow that to be a continuous trend. Like we got to start getting better pressure more consistently. And I think like I hear what people saying is because we don't have Onyemata out there, and you know what I'm saying, some interior people. But I still think that we could apply pressure. Like Cam Jordan is still, in my eyes, he's still good, and he's still one of the best defensive linemen in the league to me still. So, if Aaron Donald get double teamed, I know Cam getting double teamed. It's no excuses. Still no excuses. You still got to be able to do it. So, That and Sean Payton. I do agree with what you were saying about Jameis not being able to catch a rhythm because Taysom coming in there and stuff like that. I do think that Sean be kind of he be overusing Taysom in the wrong moments in the wrong times. Uh, and he don't have to force him. He don't have to force him. All you have to do is just let the game play out how it's playing out. You already in control of it. Just do what you're doing. Keep doing what you've been doing. Run the ball, play defense. Don't get too cute, and you know what I'm saying? Just don't do anything that would cost the team and like put us in a bad position to lose the game. As long as you're not doing ill-advised turnovers, you and on the defense you capitalize and being opportunistic, catching catching interceptions, you being a ball hawk, you being where you need to be, no sloppy tackles and stuff like that. Then it's all about the execution, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we got the game plan. We got the coaches in place and the players in place. And at that point, it's just about the execution of it. And that's what I've been questioning about the Saints, because like it seemed like there seems to be a lack of, I don't know if it's a lack of focus or if it's maybe they like, feeling themselves or something, but it seems to be the attention to detail don't be there like how it was in the past seasons where they used to play with their hair on fire, like with a point to prove. But I did have some questions about that. I wanted to know, do you think that's because they passed the regular season? Like, because I know that you said you don't really care about none of this like postseason. Is it possible that the players kind of feel that way too? Like, because since 2017, all these players have known is playoffs. So it's probably feel like, the regular season, some of them probably take it for granted type stuff and don't really start playing till the playoffs come. I wanted to know what you thought about that.
No, I think this team is a professional team. This is a veteran team, so I anticipate them taking it one game at a time. I mean, the way I see the season is in halves. We got regular season is a portion of it that you got to win, but it's not complete until you do what you got to do in the playoffs, or it don't make any sense. What good is winning double digit wins and then you out in the first round of the playoffs? That makes no sense for a team with deep playoff aspirations. So, I mean, this is a professional team. These guys are serious about what they do. I just think in the Giants matchup, the up and downness of it with the Carolina and the Giants matchup is very troubling to me. I can't quite wrap my head around exactly what's going on. Now, we did have the issues, and the family would say, well, Q, they did miss the coaches because of the C-19 stuff, which could have had a factor in it. I mean, to be honest with you, we don't like no excuses, but this could be it's a team environment, it's a family environment. And maybe when you have guys that are not there, that are motivators there, that talk to these guys and they're not there and they have to lift themselves up, maybe perhaps they couldn't do it at that time. We have some breakdown issues that we needed to get over that we didn't get over, and adjustments that we didn't make in Carolina. Against the Giants, it was just a collapse. You don't lose that fast. That's an implosion. They imploded right before us, and we were spinning like, what the hell was this? You up by double digits, and the next thing you know, you tied. The game is tied. Next thing you know, you're in overtime, and next thing you know, the defense, which is the top five, we consider it one of the best defenses in the NFL, top 5, top 10 unit, allows the Giants to march down the field and not kick a field goal, but score a touchdown to end the game. They know, like I know and you know, that if they allow them to score that touchdown, the offense will not have an opportunity to come out and see what they can do. So if the game would be a final, but that's what happened. So it was an implosion, the Giants contest. The issue is with the Saints is I think they're ready to ship. This is a veteran team. They done took some bumps and bruises. They done fell on their ass, and they done took some shots. But like I said, this is a veteran team. For the long haul, the Saints will rebound. They will get better, and they will keep moving on. We just too good not to.
Right.
A couple of early season losses to me. That pisses me off is that the Saints, the way we lost to the Carolina Panthers was, if we lose to the Carolina Panthers, and we fight our asses off, I have no problem with that. The offensive line, which is one of the best units on our team, simply did not show up to play, and we don't often see that. They're a unit that dominate the line of scrimmage and provide success, whether the quarterback is standing up there trying to pass or we running the ball, handing the ball over. They are very competent. They collapsed there and did not show up. That was troublesome. The Giants game was the defense was been the stalwart and has played well through all of these games, and they simply just imploded. So I mean, these like they asked Cam, are these fixable issues? Hell yeah, they're fixable issues, because most of these issues that we have is in many times is mentality and understanding what we have to do. A lot of it was with bad coverage calls too by Dennis Allen when he was running out there and playing and calling these consistent ass plays as opposed to go and get that guy and put him on the ground. So we gotta play fierce, and we gotta make sure we do play smart and fierce and control the field in the line of scrimmage and do the best we can to get these people up out of here. And when we got an opportunity, we got our foot on their throat. We got to push these people out of here. That's what we saying.
Yes.
Killer instinct. You got to have the killer instinct to put these people away. And we did not do. We let them play around and all this kind of old stuff in here. And the next thing you know, they came back, tied it, and then beat you 0-3 in the dome. And that pissed off a lot of people because that wasn't supposed to happen.
It happened like in the blink of an eye too. It was like 10, 21, 18, 21.
That's an implosion. That's how fast that's what an implosion looks like. You know, that's an implosion. When you was up by 10 late in the game, that team came and tied that game up, got you to overtime, and then beat you in overtime with a touchdown. Not a field goal, but a touchdown. They imploded. You know, and they ran out of juice. Whatever you want to say that they did, they fell the hell apart. So I mean, that's how it ended up. But that's just early on. From this point forward, the Saints are still good enough to make things happen. That's all I can say about knowing what the Saints are. They'll get it fixed, and we'll move forward, and we'll have success.
Right. But I did have like one more thing I was going to say real quick, and that was if you could give the Saints a letter grade and Sean Payton a letter grade just for like the games that we've seen thus far. I wanted to know, like, what would it be and why? And, yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, man. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Well, I appreciate you, Ice, man. The letter grade that I would give the Saints currently at this juncture of time, being that we are 2-2, is I would give them, what could you give a 2-2 team but a C or a C minus? I mean, that's the best. I mean, that's 500 ball right there. I can't do no better than that. I mean, but C plus, C minus, and I that's where I'm at. This is C. Because as a team, you know, we can see the offense and what we need to do. But sometimes we, like in some of these games, we stalled out. When we come out trying to do the screen, we'll run and we'll have the gash and run by Kamara. 7 yards, and then we feeling good. Then here we come with the screens. Here we come with the dinky donkey do. Here we come. Well, what happened? Why you just gashed him for 7? Why are you going to the screen yet? We ain't done setting up the run yet. And then when we come back around on the next drive, here come the run. And then you got now you got some fuel in your car. Now you're driving. It has to be, we got to understand that the psyche of the team moving into the near future is run-based. It is a run-based situation. It is not throwing the ball down the field, averaging 225 or 230 yards a game. That's simply not what it is right now. We are run-based, operated off the back of the running attack using the play action. Once we get the play action going, then we can be able to take shots down the field. But right now, a 2-2, you just bottom out to the Giants, a 0-3 winless team in your building. You was up by 10, man. That's a C all the way for me, even C minus in my opinion. Which is cool going into the bye week, because that means we got plenty of room to improve coming back, and we will improve because we get a lot of players back on the other side of that bye that raise up the overall talent level of the defense. So I have to say a C minus. Let me ask the family members that question as well. They're 2-2, just coming off a loss in their own building to a winless team, and they were up by 10 late in the game. What could I give them but a C or a C minus in my opinion? Now, let's see, come out here, knock off Washington football team, the team without a name, take them up out of here. We'll get the bye. We come off of there. And then we got Seattle without Russell Wilson on the other side, going up against whoever that guy is they got over there. So we got to be able to take care of business. We got our next caller coming in. Big Sean, how you doing, brother? Big Sean, can you hear me? Uh-oh, Sean not hearing Sean. All right, Sean, I can't hear you, brother. I think Sean having sound issues. Who that to the family members? Rodney, big ups to your first grade team, the rest of the fam. What's up, Bishop? Good to see you in the chat. Much love to Bishop. One love. Brother Vernon as well. Tramal's in the building as well. And all the family members chiming in on this thing here. Barry says the C- as well. Yeah, I mean, Bishop says a D. You know, I mean, what could you give that team, the Saints, the way they're 2-2? Now, at this juncture of time, a lot of people say, what would the record be going into the bye? We had some people saying that the Saints would have probably had one loss because that's what we do. We'll come out and we'll lay it down, which should have been the Carolina game if that was the case. But the Giants game was they just fell on. I mean, one quick strike touchdown, that was one thing. But the rest of that stuff, once they hit you there, all that other stuff shouldn't even happen. But that's what I'm saying about, okay, what we need to do to run the ball more effectively. Let's be able to, can we use a fullback, Coach Payton? How do you have that Adam Armah on here and we don't use the fullback? I don't understand. Why is he there? Why is you paying him money and you sporadic, just very seldomly using him in a running attack? I mean, utilize the fullback. He's not some big, slow, clunking fullback. He's an athletic fullback you can use as a fullback, a halfback. You can use him as an H-back back there. You can put him as a tight end. You can even line him up in the slot like Joe Brady did when he was in Carolina. So you have we got to delve into our offensive imagination here. And imagination is one thing, but having discipline, two, to stick to what works is big here, because that's something that Coach Payton struggles with. He struggles with discipline. I've been watching this man for years, his offensive strategies and schemes that he runs, watching him for years. One thing I realized from Coach Payton is that discipline, to stick to something that works. Now, sometimes he will, but like in certain games, he'll be in a rush to try to get the running attack going. I'm like, Coach, operate the run. Let's get that run in there nice and good. I promise you that you holding that run there, and then you'll get an opportunity to let that pass go. It's all in the works. Set that run up, and sooner or later they got to commit them extra resources to stopping that run, and then you'll get them one-on-one deep shots that Coach Payton loves to see Jameis take down the field. We'll get plenty of those. We really will. We just got to honor the run. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep it going, fam. Much love to the fam. What's up, Carlton? Big ups, fam. We ain't been running. We've been running for a while. You're right. We've been running. We ran 140 something. What was it, Carlton? 120 something yards in the Giants contest. Saints were running the football, and Giants had 100 and it was over 140 yards of rushing in the Giants game last week with 2 rushing touchdowns, both with Taysom Hill. Elvin didn't get in. He got you down there, and they gave the reward to Taysom twice. So the issue is the running attack is one thing. And it's a weird game because the Saints controlled the clock, and the only way they lost the game is because of the 2 deep plays that should never happen. 2 quick strike touchdowns, that's not supposed to happen. And that's how they neutralized, because the Saints had time possession. They had the running attack. Everything was in their favor until they allowed them to gash them. So it's very weird, very weird. And I was like, this is so crazy how it all played out. They just like a literal implosion of what occurred. That's why it's like, okay, if Jameis doesn't have the rhythm, the quarterback not having the rhythm is one thing. An offensive line not having a rhythm is a whole nother thing. And when you can't run the ball, and if you look at those drives, the Saints, when we tried to rush the ball in those drives, they weren't giving success. But in those drives, when they were stalling out, that offensive line reverted back to what they was in that Carolina game. Go back and look at that tape. When the drives, when Jameis went out there and he didn't have that rhythm, and I said, fam, there's something wrong here. Their body language is bad. Remember I said that? I knew it right away because the signature is all signature. When I seen that, I said to myself, something wrong here. Something wrong with their body language here. What the hell wrong with this body language? And then, of course, they try to hand the ball over. He ain't get minimal yards. So I said, like, we got to change this stuff here. Let's put some more people up in here. Let's bring that fullback up in here. Let him punch that hole open and let them get to that second level. You know, so I mean, there are adjustments that we can make, man. We don't always. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do here, man, for real. I mean, but we can't have a letdown like that. We 2-2, and this is not a good look for us. But I overall think that more than likely, I know for a fact that we'll recover going into the season. You know, not just because we're getting all these people back, but also the fact that the Saints is just the mentality of the Saints is to keep fighting through. And we've not lost that. Even though we're screwing up right now, we have not lost the will to win. And if anything, we'll get it fixed. And the pressure makes the team better and stronger and more focused. So we know that much about our black and gold family members. Anyway, we got another family members online. We're gonna bring them in there. Who that Davis? Welcome to the show, bro. How you doing?
Big Q, big fan, man. How you doing this weekend?
What's good, bro? Doing good, bro. How you feeling?
I feel better. I was getting looked at for the cyst that's underneath the bottom of my chin here. Feeling better on that part. My grandmother's is recovering nicely from her acid reflux. So it's looking up over there in this household, and I'm very blessed about that.
Good, man. Good. That's all positive, bro. Good to hear that. It's on the plus side of things, bro.
Always happy to be here. So what I was talking about earlier on my podcast, what I was talking about was the difference in receiving talent between the Washington football team and the New York Giants. Last week, I was talking about to TJ about you can't sleep on the New York Giants team just because they're without Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, because they have twitchy guys, they have speedy guys that can. And Daniel Jones is not a quarterback that you can sleep on, because he can get that ball down the field with accuracy and with efficiency. And we saw it last week. John Ross proved that he can still be one of the best speedsters in the NFL, and just like Deshaun Jackson's proven it over there with the Los Angeles Rams. Kadarius Toney, I believe he proved that he deserves more snaps with the Giants. I've loved Kadarius Toney since he was playing with AJ Brown down there in Ole Miss. Like, I knew as soon as he converted that 3rd and 18, it was going to be a long day for that same secondary, because they couldn't tackle him for whatever reason. He's a very agile, very very quick, twitchy guy. You know, he changed his direction with the best of them. And Saquon Barkley, I don't believe Saquon Barkley was much of a factor as many believe. I believe Pete Warner, for the most part, when he was covering them, he was a non-factor. And that's more, and that's not even a detriment to Saquon Barkley. That's more of a praise to a rookie linebacker and Pete Warner going up against arguably still a top 10 talented running back as Saquon Barkley. The defensive line was disappointing. They were without a starting offensive lineman for the New York Giants, and the Saints couldn't capitalize on that. They couldn't get any pressure on Daniel Jones, save a couple between Peyton Turner, Tanner passing on, and sometimes up the middle with Cam Jordan. He lined up a couple times on the inside. What they did to correct that, they released defensive tackle Christian Ringo, and they've been phasing him out. If you guys have watched the snap count for Christian Ringo throughout these first 4 weeks, they've been steadily phasing him out, and it showed last week when they only had 14 snaps on the New Orleans Saints defensive line. And that means they're pretty confident that Tanner Passanio can kick inside and go up against the backup guard for Brandon Scherf. And if that's the case, then I'm all for it. But the key thing overall that the Saints need to do, they need to get pressure on Taylor Heineke without compromising their back end. Because the Saints are top 10 in terms of blitzing the quarterback. But Taylor Heineke is a guy that can really hurt you if you try to blitz him, just like the Joe Burrows and the Matthew Staffords. This guy is able to scramble out of the pocket and hurt them with his legs. He's not like a Lamar Jackson, but I would equate him to more of a Kyler Murray. He's not flashy, but he's fast and he's efficient, and he knows where he needs to get to keep ahead of the chains. That's what they need to do. And so that front four is going to have a big task ahead of them, including Cam Jordan. I know he's been dealing with some double teams, some chips off the line of scrimmage, but he has to be able to affect the quarterback on his side and play a little bit of contain on top of that. You know, that defensive front is going to be a really telltale of what this game is going to shape up to be tomorrow against the Washington football team.
Yeah, that's well said, Aaron. Big time, because the reality is, bro, we as a team, bro, we can't allow any more letdowns with the defensive line. You're right. Getting pressure with the front four is big. We're gonna have to do that. And like we said, intelligent pressure, containing him, not letting him leak out and beat you athletically. Like a lot of the with Jones. Well, Jones didn't do that last week. He didn't need to do it. I mean, he was comfortable. He found a rhythm to be able to find his wide receivers. And yeah, you're right. Kadarius Toney and the rest of those guys are a weapon. But we got to learn a lesson this week. I don't know how effective Heineke will be this week with the field being in with the rain situation up there. So it should, to a degree, slow him down. We'll see how it all looks. But the Saints still, man, they still got to keep him contained and not let him pick up that extra yardage. You're absolutely right on that, bro.
And last thing I want to point out before I get out of here, let you get your next caller, the wide receivers. the Washington football team is one of the worst in terms of Saints in terms of secondary and pass defense. They're 28th in pass defense. They are 31st in yards per game allowed. So they have the makings, the Saints offense, to have something of a comeback game. And when Kenny Stills officially signed to the 53-man roster for the New Orleans Saints, that adds an extra dimension that the Saints have been looking for that they haven't been able to get out of wide receiver Lil Jordan Humphrey. And I hate it because I love LGH, but it is what it is. So Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, Kenny Stills, they have the chance to have a good get back against this Saints, against the Washington football team secondary, but that's only if the offensive line holds up, because they still have a pretty nasty defensive line with Sweat and Chase Young and Jonathan anchoring down the middle of that defense. The guards are going to be a really telltale. Not just Cesar Ruiz at playing center, but Andrews Pete and Calvin Throckmorton. Those guys are going to have some real dogs going after them in the pass rush. How those guys communicate at the line of scrimmage, pick up any stunts, pick up any leaks to the inside, that's going to be key to Jameis Winston really attacking this weak and vulnerable secondary for the football team.
They give up a lot of yards, man. A lot of yards on the ground and through there, over 300 something odd yards. It's the Washington football team secondary is giving up currently. Like I talked about it with Louis, who's the Washington football team's independent podcaster, and he was co-signing on the fact that the Washington football team defense is not very good right now, and that really the team is carried by their offense currently. And he praises Taylor Heineke and says that even if the game plan is to throw the ball 40-plus times against the Saints secondary, that should be the move they should take. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, if you won't do that, that'll be interesting to see that happen. But when you got somebody, these elite-level pass rushers, this is a very good defensive line that the football team putting up here. Deron Payne and the rest of these guys, very good. Jonathan, Allen, the two, these are really good defensive linemen. I think a part of that, you're absolutely right. Kelvin Throckmorton, Cesar Ruiz, Andrus, they got to get their crap together, man. They got to get their crap together against these guys. But we also got to run the damn ball. That's the bottom line. We want to neutralize them speedy guys. We got to run the football. We got to establish dominance on the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. Hopefully they get Alvin Kamara touches in the passing game as well. First time in his entire career, he has not recorded a single reception. That can't happen. That can't happen at all. You have to attack those linebackers. You got to attack Jamin Davis. I think Alvin Kamara can hold up, and I don't hold up, but he can beat a rookie linebacker in Jamin Davis in pass coverage. And I foresee him being in coverage on Alvin Kamara. So that's a matchup Kamara's going to win all day long. Jameis Winston has to make sure he gets them out of space. And to your point about the run game, the run game was prominent last week. Alvin Kamara having a 123-yard rushing game, but it's all about dividing up. It's like sharing the load. Divine Ozigbo, you know what you got in Ozigbo. You had him in 2019 in your preseason training camp. So you know that he can work between the tackles. You know he can be just as shifty as a J.D. McKissick or even Antonio Gibson. So if you can get those two gelling early and often, then the Saints are going to be in great position to win this game. But that's it for me right now. I got to get the shrimp po' boy. It just came into the house. The boy got the munchies. I got to get going. But Big Q, awesome talking shop with you, Saints football. I will be checking out your podcast more often. It's always fun watching you give your takes on everything. I'll be around, man.
All right. Appreciate you. Who that Davis, man? B&G podcast. Check the brother out. B&G Breakdown podcast. Good people, man. Really articulate brother, knows his stuff, man. Much love to you, bro. Appreciate had fun talking to you. All right, family, let's move. We got Big Sean. Sean, can you hear me, brother?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, my brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to give my spin on last weekend, this upcoming game tomorrow. Last week, that was kind of an anomaly, man. That was all on Sean Payton, man. And you can't spin it no other way, man. I think he's just trying to play this conservative type of football right now, thinking that he can slide by the Giants, but they surprised us. They punched us in the mouth. So he from that, he ought to learn something. He's telling us about what he learned from the roster, from the different units and everything. But I mean, he ought to take something from that game for himself. You know what I mean? He got to be holding himself accountable for all of that stuff. But that said, we 2-2. If I remember from last year and the year before, we started off 2-2 too. And what ended up happening? We ran away with the division, even when Tom Brady first came in. So that's the positive spin on it. But everybody know the negative. We've been hearing it all week, so I ain't even much gonna get into that. But moving forward to this Redskins game, I still call them the Redskins. I don't care. But
I keep screwing up, making the mistake, bro. I was talking to man, call them the Redskins, skin. I'm like, man, good grief, man.
Heck, I see
football team.
I see burgundy and yellow. I see Redskins. That's all I see. But anyway, like the only prediction I got is on the defensive side of the ball. Our defense is a prideful unit. I think they're gonna come out and have a good game tomorrow. As far as the offense, it's gonna go as far as not the running game, not even the passing game. It's goes as far as the coaching, because he messed that up last week, so he got to make up for that. And I'll go back to the last week game. Jameis was ready to have that breakout game, but Sean Payton stopped him. I saw that 300-yard game coming, but he stopped that jump. He can't keep holding that boy hostage all this time, man. He gonna end up leaving and stuff. Or he gonna end up thinking that maybe he should start Ian Book or Taysom Hill. I mean, the man might go back into his shell. He keep holding them back. He ain't gonna know what his whole potential is with our team if he keep holding them back like that. So, like, I don't have no score prediction or nothing like that, and I ain't even going to come out with a win-loss prediction because it's crazy this year. Because I originally had us losing to Green Bay, but we beat the mess out of them. And I had us beating Carolina. They beat the mess out of us. You see where I'm going? This Washington game was going to be my trap game, but looked like that ended up being a Giants game. So it's crazy and unpredictable now. So I'm humbling myself down like a lot of other people doing, man. I'm going to say, man, we just going to go out there and play. That's my prediction. Yeah, I hope we win, but hey.
Yeah, like you said, though, Sean, you looking at it, we 2-2 and it's up, down. You know, at some point we're going to normalize, and I think more up than down. So we getting a lot of these people back on the flip side of the break. We just need to go into this matchup against Washington and handle business, bro. Nothing spectacular, just workman-like mentality, attitude. Go up there, get the W, come home, get a week off of rest. Onyemata, McCoy, several other players coming back, and get ready for Seattle on the other side. So I mean, let's just workman type attitude against the Washington football team.
Yeah, question I got for you concerning the kicking game. You think if we had our team had reacted to that a week earlier, that we would have won this last game? Because we just not replacing the kicker right now.
I think it would have had an impact on the game because Coach Payton, it have definitely been a positive, Brother Sean, because Coach Payton didn't have confidence in Rosas leaving that last contest coming into this one. That's why he was really hesitant of letting them kick that 35 or 45-yard field goal, whatever it was, and then put them out there for the 58-yard. That didn't make any sense. So he didn't. And of course we seen that he didn't trust him. You can see it in his actions of not putting them out there and going for it. On a toss play of all plays where Kamara gets stopped 1 yard short. But yeah, it would have more than likely made a impact on the game if he'd have went with somebody he trusted, because I think that he would have trusted somebody, he would have given an opportunity to kick that field goal, and we might have had 3 points there as opposed to no points.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that would have had an effect on the fact that we lost that game. I think we would have won that game in regulation, going even with the defense lapsing in the end. I think that the offense would have, well, the special teams in that case would have got the deal done.
Right. I agree, bro. I agree with you, Sean. And that was a part of it. You'd have got 3 as opposed to nothing, and that would have carried on in the game. But yeah, that hurt. That hurt for you because both of those times when you didn't kick the field goal, you got 0 there. And then when the 58-yard field goal, you got 0 there. So that was 6 points right there that you didn't get, that didn't exist. Not to mention the 6 the referees pulled off the game from you with the holding play by the tight end that he ain't throw until after the referee seen that the wide receiver broke loose, because they showed the field angle on it and he watching it the whole way downfield. And then when he seen him sprint free, then he threw that flag. I said, did y'all see that? But see, they took that off of that.
Man.
You missed the 2 field goals off of
I
that.
didn't catch that one.
Oh,
but
man.
I know what play you're talking about, but I didn't look at the detail of it.
Oh, yeah. I'll say, did y'all catch it? Because they just so happened the camera was at an angle at the back of that referee. And he was staring down the play, and he seen that guy break. Didn't throw that flag till he seen that guy was out there to pull that off of that. So I said, oh, yeah. And, of course, the touchdown that wasn't a touchdown that we don't talk about, when they fumbled the ball through into the end zone, they called it, man never had possession of it. They called it a touchdown. All that was going for you against you in that contest where we didn't kick. We missed we missed 6 points off of 2 field goals. One missed, one wasn't taken. The touchdown that was pulled away from you off the holding play by Troutman. And then the touchdown the Giants got, the first one that really wasn't a touchdown because the guy never had possession. All very, very negative plays. But we got to take care of business. Despite the fact they gave the Giants that touchdown, the Saints still had an opportunity. They were up by 10, right, despite all that effort, and they still was able to close. We should have been able to close out the game, and then the implosion occurred. So we got to learn from it, and we just got to keep on doing our thing, man. Workman-like mentality against the football team.
My question is, when are we gonna learn? I mean, don't let the referee decide the outcome of the game, man. You beat the dudes down and keep your foot on their neck, man. You can't keep letting people in. The team you least expect get you like that. Like even the Jets even beat the doggone Titans last week, man. So it was just crazy this whole past weekend. But we better not have no surprise this weekend because we need this game. Because if we don't win this game, I don't know what to say about us.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, Sean, too, is like you just alluded to it just a few minutes ago when you talked about how up and down the Saints were in the first 4 weeks of the season in prior seasons. How the Saints will come out and lose a game here or there, and then ultimately then you see them have a streak of wins, and then they catch their rhythm there, and then it will carry on through. Now, a lot of the common denominator in that success was that Drew Brees was there.
Exactly.
The Saints will over-rely on Drew Brees. Now, who plays the role of Drew Brees to this degree? Who then pulls the team in and say such and such, we need to do this, that, and the third? Who will become the leader? People saying it's Jameis, but it's hard for Jameis to play that role because he's still learning himself. Now, I've seen Jameis many times grab players and tell them and give them incentive and motivation, but it's difficult. When he gets down, who uplifts him? Because there are people in this world that are pillars and some people that lean on pillars. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Who do you lean on? If you're a pillar, who do you lean on? You have to support yourself. So at all times, you got to have the mentality, a high motivational mindset to keep yourself up, even when your teammates are, you see them kind of leaning this the way of third. But Jameis Winston, man, him and Taysom Hill, the movement of him and Taysom around that offense, they got to have some sensibility to it because that's kind of disturbing how he operating here to a degree, bro. So I mean, we got to figure that out. But like I said, I do say the Saints will beat the Washington football team. They're going there to be working. I don't expect a blowout. I expect a close one. I think I said 27-24. Now last week against the Giants, I said the Saints will beat the Giants by at least 10. And they were on their way to it, and they laid it down. I told Fist that. I said they're going to beat them by at least 10. Didn't I say that? Next thing you know, they laid that down. I was like, you know what now? Let me see. Let me go on back here and rethink this thing. I still have confidence in them, but the fact that the Saints are showing certain issues that they don't customarily show means there's new things they have to fix from a team perspective that maybe Drew Brees or Tommy Morstead and other players who've been here for years that been through some stuff were kibosh. So some people have to step up behind the scenes and take onus of some of this stuff. Maybe they haven't found that person yet because we too many veterans for us to be going up and down like the stock market ticker. That don't make no sense to me. But anyway, yeah, Sean, that's my call on. That's a 24-27. But I think the Saints handled the workman-like attitude in Washington They take care of business up there. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think 27-24 is my call. I don't expect them to blow them out. If they do, that'll be really good going into the bye week. But I think coming out of that thing, you get a lot of people back that can help you. Onyemata, one of them, and many others. So let's take care of business.
Yeah, I agree with that. The last week game, I had us I didn't see us losing that game, but I said I wouldn't be surprised if it was close. I didn't even see no blowout. I had a strange feeling about that, but I didn't see us losing.
Yeah, me either.
Well,
it was a big tease though, Sean. You up by 10 in the game. The Giants, they cheating for the Giants in the game. That wasn't a touchdown. We know that. Strange enough, though, if you go back and look at it, I think the Giants and the Jets both won last week, and they had the same score. I think they both put up 27 points to win. Very odd, very strange, but strange things happen in the casino-driven. I ain't gonna even get into it. But the reality is, the Saints still were up by 10 despite the cheating of the referees in the game to try to keep it close. But the black and gold cannot do. They can't make all these mistakes. They got to operate and know their identity. They got to know who they are. We got to operate through your best offensive weapon, which is Alvin Kamara. If anything those offensive linemen could do for the Saints is run block. A professional, most of them, it's another thing for you to get Hurst to talk about, okay, Hurst. All right, James Hurst, I need you to block Chase Young over there. What? Or Montez Sweat. What? You want me to block that guy who got linebacker speed and all this kind of stuff? No, you help those guys out. Give them the running attack. Let them put their hands on these fierce athletes and push them up out of there. Let's do that. Give them the running attack and allow them to maul these guys and control the line of scrimmage. But that's my call on this one.
And as for our defense, again, I'm gonna go back to them. What has been our last our problem on defense the last few years that we've been actually good? Versus mobile quarterbacks. That's the only test they got to pass for me. I know they're going to get the pass rush and everything and the line and everything worked out. I mean, they just had a bad game and everything, but they're going to get that worked out. But they got to pass that test for me against mobile quarterbacks because we've been struggling against them every year for the past 2-3 years. We even let, what's his name from Philly, the starter Philly now? I mean, he gashed us with his legs.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. I mean, we had trouble against him, and we lost to them. Didn't even expect to lose to them, just like last week. But, we're going to get tested a whole lot this season because we got a lot of mobile quarterbacks we're going up against.
Yeah, the NFC least, man, they do have some talented quarterbacks that can use their feet. You talk about
every last one of them, honestly. Dak is the least one that'll do it, but he still know how to use his legs.
Still can use it if he wants to. So yeah, they all of them got the propensity to get out and hurt you. So the Washington football team feeling good about themselves, watching the Giants. Say if the Giants can beat the Saints in their home, we can beat them in our building. So that gives us a certain sense of confidence to do it. And the Saints just got to establish themselves. We're not a bottom-feeding team. We got to beat these teams and get them on up out of the way. We can't play no games with these teams, fam. We got to handle business, stay within our identity because I see a lot of confusion in the Saints offense, how to use Taysom Hill in conjunction with Jameis, when to run Taysom versus Alvin Kamara because Taysom getting in the way. He having success from the long range. He getting in the way of both Alvin Kamara and Jameis Winston. I mean, he took 2 rushing touchdowns in the red zone from Alvin Kamara, who had 120-something yards of offense. That ain't how it's supposed to work. You keep doing that and see how it start turning out for you. You piss off your star. If he running hard like that, you reward him by letting him get touchdowns. That's a big part of it. So we gotta shift it up, shake it around a little bit.
My thing is, unless we got 2 or 3 yards to go to get a first down or to get to the end zone, don't put Taysom in the game for no other reason. I mean, don't let the dude pass the ball. You seen what he do when he passed the ball. That's why we lost to Green Bay last year, and that's why. What other game we lost? And heck, the game we won last year against the Broncos, the dude ain't had no touchdown passes, and against their third stringers. What do that tell you? Don't let the dude throw the ball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I said that in the early stream. I was talking. We had a discussion on Patreon on our Patreon show on Tuesday. We talked about the relationship between Coach Payton, Taysom Hill, and Jameis Winston. When is the righteous time to add Jameis in the game? I mean Taysom in the game. When Jameis is the starting quarterback. Jameis is the starting quarterback. Jameis is the man. He beat Taysom in the competition, whatever you want to call it. He beat him, so he gets the bulk of the snaps. So if anything's going to happen, it has to be in harmony of letting Jameis Winston be able to keep whatever flow he's getting. You can't ask Jameis Winston to go in there and build a camaraderie and rhythm with his team, and you keep pulling him in and out with Taysom Hill, and Taysom Hill's snap count is going up per game. But it has to. You're gonna put Taysom out there, put him in harmony of the players that you have. You can't put him over Alvin Kamara. I mean, there are plays when I see Taysom Hill out as a fullback. I'm like, okay, listen, bro, we got a fullback. Let's use the fullback that we have. We can use Taysom as a wide receiver. You need help there, wide receiver. You need help as a tight end, fine. But it's a lot of stuff that we can do where he won't get in the way of Alvin Kamara or Jameis Winston's harmony. If Jameis is struggling, that's one thing. But if he's scoring and moving the ball around, that's a whole nother different thing altogether. Don't get in his way. If hands off, if Jameis is balling, is all I'm saying. If you want to put Taysom in as a running back to get the ball so he can run, then do that. But don't take Jameis out to put Taysom in as a runner. What good is that doing? It's not. That's impacting a lot of stuff, and it's messing up the harmony of with Jameis where he got to run back out there. Man, come on, man. We got to do this better than this. We got to fix this, or it's going to be a problem heading into the season.
Heck, if anything, he just needs to put him in there as, like you said, tight end or maybe even receiver. I mean, that's where we hurting the most on offense. I mean, our running game, it go through Kamara, man, and a lot of people having trouble stopping him. And we're going to have, Ty Montgomery? We're going to have him. Dwayne Washington, our running game, it's on point, man. We ain't going to got to worry about that. And it's going to break open. So, I mean, where we need them most, like I said, tight end or wide receiver, because that's what core is hurting right now until everybody get back. But when and how Sean Payton needs to use him, he don't. That's what tripped me out about him, man.
Yeah, I think Coach Payton ain't got it figured out yet. I think that's the whole thing. I think he experimenting. I don't think Coach Payton got it figured out. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. He ain't got it figured out yet, and you can tell.
You don't have no common sense, because God dog, I'm even going back to the 2019 playoffs, that first round we lost. Taysom Hill was rolling even at quarterback, and Drew was struggling. He took Taysom out and put Drew back in, and we lost.
Yeah, the guy came around there and knocked the ball out of Drew's hand. They recovered it and went on to win. Yeah, there was only several players that came in that game to play, and Taysom Hill was one. They put him in there, and he was moving the ball on Minnesota down the field, and then he moved
us in that game.
Yeah, he thought that Drew. It's just like I said. I see what he's trying to do, but I just think that Coach Payton needs to understand it's a harmony to this thing, and it impacts players' harmony when you take them out. Like, you don't have to do what he's doing with Taysom Hill, which is Taysom's not doing anything spectacular throwing the ball. I mean, he really isn't. He's doing it as a running back. So if you want him to be the running back out there, he can still keep Jameis on the field with Taysom as a running back. I mean, in essence, it makes the play a lot better because you don't know what they're going to do. Is he going to throw it or is he going to run it? So it does give an essence of confusion, or it prevents just an element of unpredictability of what's going on right here, as opposed to you just putting Taysom in there and telling Taysom to go get it. You know, everybody in the stadium knows that is, but you don't have to bring Jameis out to put Taysom in to have success. We can still utilize them both and allow Jameis to stand there to build a rhythm. Because remember, he still doesn't know Coach Payton's offense yet either, and is still trying to find it out. So, that's a part of it, bro. It's still a work in progress.
And one more thing before I go. We do need to win this game, like I said, not just because to keep us in playoff standing, so to speak, but actually to keep us within the grasp of the division. Because I'm looking at our whole entire division, and they the Buccaneers ain't as unbeatable as the media hype them up to be, and Carolina gonna fall eventually. I don't have no faith in neither one of them. And the Falcons, I mean, why even mention them? So like, we still alive. So that's the positives outtake I got on the whole thing. So we just got to do our part. And just when we play them, and when we play Carolina again, we just got to handle our business. We got to get them back.
Yeah, you're right, bro. And then of course, knowing it that we take care of business against the Washington football team, we get that bye. We do get some players back after that bye. Traquan Smith and several other players that can help us out. And key areas of the team do come back. David Onyemata, who's your best interior pass rusher, he comes back and he helps Cam Jordan. Looks a lot different with David Onyemata there, providing that rush up the center. The Saints defense take on a different look as well. So I mean, we get some stuff going there. Speaking of, Quan Alexander's another guy that we could look as a possible coming back. And so we get some really good players back potentially after the bye week to get ready for Seattle and to get ready for the rest of the teams, the Tampas, the Atlantas, as we get deep and start getting into some of that NFC South schedule. So yeah, we got a few teams looking ahead. But for right now, we got to take care of business in the nation's capital against a team with no nickname.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm gonna hop off of here so everybody else can get their chance at the check. I'm gonna holler back at you, Q.
All right, appreciate you, Sean. Much love, my brother. Who that? That's Big Sean, man. My brother, much love to him and his wife, Simply Tasha. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for chiming in. We're an hour and 30 plus minutes. Some great conversation from the family members talking football. The family members know, man. Football, watching it and seeing what's going on. And we know, studying this, looking at this thing about Taysom Hill and Jameis and all of the stuff that's going on with the synergy issues. Like you're watching when Jameis got back in there and they really didn't have rhythm. That was a real key drive for the Saints. And when that happened, from that point, in my perspective, now many family members can say, nah, Q is probably something else. But let me tell you, from a perspective of momentum and energy, when I seen the offense right there with those drives, that drive with Jameis, like they were dead in the water. I was like, man, this is going to be bad here, because they shouldn't have that body language. They were winning at the time, and they shouldn't have had the body language of a loser. And it was like the body language was that they already lost. And I'm like, why? That doesn't make any sense. Why is your body language is projecting that of a loser, but you're winning on the score? What's going on here? And then next thing you know, it flip-flopped and changed to a tie and then a win. So like I said, man, that can't happen. That simply can't happen. We got to remember our identity and who we are as a football team. We're not throwing the ball around, passing it at 230, 240 yards per game right now. No, we are run-based. We want to shrink. We're going to keep that game down. We're going to steal possessions away from you. And then we're going to take shots down the field when we need to keep that going out. That's just what it is. Also, let me give a shout out to much love to the family members. Thank you, Bishop, for your cash out. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the Bishop for his cash out. Much love to you, brother Bishop. Thank you. All right, brother Chappelle says no faith in Carolina. Wow, you see the defense they added. Shit, you better worry. Yeah, and listen, man, we got to give credit where credit's due. The Carolina, and of course, Dave and Rashad, the good brothers from over the PNP camp. We'll talk to them later on in the year, but I promise you that that the Carolina team is not playing around. They're not. Getting C.J. Henderson, they knew that J.C. Horn got hurt. Then they bring in guys like C.J. Henderson they picked up from the Jags. Then they turn around and made a big blockbuster trade for Stephon Gilmore from the Pats. The Saints will have to contend with this team, and then they're already a very good young defense that flies around and make plays. So they are a team that you got to watch out for. And Sam Darnold's playing with confidence. And, the team is doing good without Christian McCaffrey in there. So, yeah, Carolina has a version of Sean Payton's offense. And remember, Sean Payton lost to Joe Brady's Sean Payton style offense. So, I mean, bro, it's just, listen, man, it's just a part of the game where you got Jameis in there and you got to help Jameis out. Guys got to come to play. We got guys like, there are certain players in this thing that got to step up, man. My goodness. You got guys like Troutman, they just got to show up. Guys like Troutman, they got to step up, they got to show up, and they got to handle their business. He got to start stepping up. He's been relatively invisible. And there's several other players that need to kind of get in that thing. And some of them might be slow starters heading into the season, but ultimately down the line, I think a lot of this will change. I think the Saints will get stronger heading down the line. I think like I said, a lot of our players come back as well. And I think you're going to start seeing the Saints hit on some streaks. Go see them put together a couple of 3 or 4 game, 5 game win streaks to kind of push ahead in that rankings there going on. But Carolina is not a team that you can take lightly anymore. I mean, if anything, they have a good defense and they're playing with confidence. Now they got to come down here next time around, but you're dealing with a confident team there. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it also. We looking at Tampa Bay for obvious reasons. But let's not overlook Carolina and our eagerness to beat the hell out of Tampa Bay, should we? I mean, we got to take these teams seriously. Even the Atlanta Falcons, you have to take them seriously because that's Fontenot over there. And even though they're not putting together, blowing the doors off right now, they still are a team in propensity to shock you. I mean, look at the Giants, for goodness sake. I mean, the Giants were 0-3, came down here and took it from the Saints in their own building. Who would have seen that shit coming, man? But the Giants people. All right. Thank you, Andre. Who that to you? Appreciate you, fam. What's up, Slim? He say, who that? All right. Who that to you, fam? Much love to you, brother Slim. All right. Big ups to the rest of the family members in this thing. Bishop says he hasn't been invisible because, yeah. Swag says the Panthers are still paper Panthers. They just caught us at the right and wrong time. Well, the Saints offensive line, Swag, and and I can see what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. I just think the Saints offensive line is usually a standard of excellence. They always come to play. And when I seen them struggle, not just like for a few series against Carolina, I mean, they struggled that entire game. They couldn't do shit. They couldn't run the ball or pass or protect the quarterback. And I mean, if they would have did half of that stuff, like if they could have just did 5 to 20%, maybe 15 to 20% better, then Jameis would have had a couple of throws downfield that could have changed a few things in the game. Oh my goodness, he couldn't get nowhere. I mean, it was just like they wasn't even out there. I mean, why get on the plane and fly out there if you're going to play up like that? I mean, and where's the guy that kicked the rest of them in their ass when they play like that? Who's that guy? Can't have a bunch of nice guys. There got to be a a-hole out there that get on them and tell them that, man, what you doing? Get your ass up. Who's that guy? Who is the guy that kicked them in their ass when they be doing stuff when they don't show up or when they don't live up to? I mean, where that guy at? I want to know who he is, or where is he at? Because that's what you're supposed to do, to wake them up and remind them, hey, we don't play like this. We the New Orleans Saints. We don't play like, where's that guy at? I hear you with the early, with people, they do the pregame speeches to get ready. But really, that's throughout the game, especially when you hold in the lead and you feel the momentum trying to change. It's energy. And it's all about you capturing the energy. That's what it's about. That's what we're saying. Energy meeting energy, or what momentum is. What is momentum? Momentum is force, it's power, it's energy. Whoever contains the momentum or the energy or the force or the intensity, use different descriptive terms. We all talking about the same thing. Whoever captures that the majority of the time will win. And the only way to beat a team that's playing with that intensity is to match the intensity or then go over it. That's the only way. You ain't going to do it no other way. And the Saints laid down. They couldn't match for whatever reason. It was dead as a hammer. They couldn't move it. They couldn't do it. All right. Devin said, I heard they gave up on their 6th round. What a huge win. Yeah, they did. They supposed to be restructuring Gilmore's contract. So we'll see. The Carolina Panthers are trying to do this, a bit of a desperation error in Carolina. They're trying to get that thing right. I ain't mad at them at all, but we got to contend with them. They bring some of the best football players in the NFL that's in the NFC South, man. I mean, some of the best always seem to find themselves to the NFC South, boy. I mean, you would be like, man, if we can have a division like the Patriots had when it was in the NFC, the AFC East all those years, when you had a sucky Jets club, a bottom-feeding Miami team, and a bullshit Buffalo club for all those years, and you just kicking the crap out of them, like Texas used to do them people in their conference all those years, and they got tired of beating the start out. You'd be getting tired too, So I mean, like, no, the NFC South have some of the best football players in the NFL there, man. But like them or not, you have some of the best in the business is playing in the NFC South. That's what makes it so competitive. And usually, if you can get a guy out of NFC, a team out of the NFC South, that's a real deal team. They're usually gonna beat all the rest of them teams because the NFC South, to a great degree, is a different animal. It's tough in the NFC South, man. That's why it's a big feat for the Saints to win as much as they did over the last years with all these people piling into the NFC South, Tom Brady and all these other people. Even some of these other young talented people like the kid Pitts out of Florida, who's going to be phenomenal years down the line for the Atlanta Falcons. So there are quite a few people, very dangerous and talented NFC South, man. Tough to win in this division. Coach Tab says Troutman was invisible until, unfortunately, his most known play this season was that hold on the top. Yeah, you're right, Coach Tab. He says, you're right. He's got to show up in the right way. Yeah, you're right, Coach. I agree with you. But I still, and we pay attention to Troutman on film, he was a man amongst boys when he played in college, so to speak. He was a big guy doing this thing, but here he's having a difficulty adjusting because the guys that he's playing with are the same size as him. Now listen, Troutman's smart, he's tough, and he's very talented. Just right now, he's struggling to get, it's that second year. That first year he was a backup behind Jared Cooks and Josh Hill, and he came in when he needed. He made some plays, but now that the Saints have thrust him to the forefront and told him, look, this is your role, man. He's having difficulties understanding what he needs to do. But like I said, I think eventually Troutman will catch on. We didn't guess wrong on Troutman, family. We didn't guess wrong on Troutman, just like we didn't guess wrong on Marquez Callaway, on Deontay Harris, on LaJordan Humphrey, on Tony Jones Jr., on Christian Ringo, on Malcolm Roach, on none of these players that's impacting, even the drafted guys. We didn't guess wrong on these guys. These guys are talented. Just some it take a little longer than others. Like if you look at a Debo and then you look at a Troutman, a Debo comes out right away and has success to a degree. He had a couple of tough series in there, a couple of tough games in there, like against Carolina when he was going up against DJ Moore. DJ Moore gave it to him. But remember, a Debo's still a rookie. And really, to a degree, even though he played some last year, Troutman, that is, he's still a very limited concept on what he needs to do as a tight end. So, like I said, I think he is a late bloomer, but I promise you that he's going to eventually get it together. And plus, like I've said this, and I'll say this again, we have some of the best assistant coaches in the NFL. I'm going to keep it real with you. We have some of the best assistant coaches in the NFL. So it is what it is. That's what we're going. Thank you, Coach Tab, for that. All right, so let's keep it going here. Armstead made Arch, what's up, fam? Says Troutman had a 51-23, 51-31 snaps. How many of those have been catch snaps? I guess not many. And he ain't got much going on, to be honest with you. He got to improve. What's up, Derek? Who had to your brother Derek's in the building? Much love to brother Derek. Saints' best days are ahead of them. Still early. Let all these other teams talk. Questions is who checking Sean when he's tripping. That's right, 504 Code. Thank you, fam. Much love to you. Big ups to you. Appreciate you being here as well. All right. Derek says the guy that called him on their stuff is seedy, but he couldn't say nothing because he played like crap himself. That's exactly what we need, a rude awakening. Yeah, we've got several of those. Yeah, the Giants one, and now the Carolinas, now the Giants one. I mean, damn. We need to shake them out of their sleep and wake them up, man. Listen, the season is ongoing. All right, we're going to bring in Uncle Paulie here, man, to the Fred. Uncle Paulie, welcome to the live stream, bro.
What's going on, Q and the whole family? How you do?
Doing good, my brother. Welcome to the stream, Uncle Paulie. How you feeling today, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, Q. I'm looking forward to this game, man. I'm just,
me too.
Man, Sean Payton offense on a scale of 100 to 0. Right now, the approval rate is like a 45 with me right now. And you know that's not good.
Yeah, I was asked by Sean early on in there to give a grade. I think that was Sean that asked to give that was Iceman, to give a grade on the Saints' performance up to this point, whereas A, excellence. B, B is good. C, B is still above, pretty good. C is just there, and D is close to failing. F is failing. So if you had to give a letter grade to the Saints at 2-2 at this point right now, Uncle Paulie, what would your grade be?
I would have to be honest with you, Q, with all of the ups and downs and trials and tribulation the defensive have, I would have to break it down on that way. For the defense, I would give the defense an A-, and that's because we still ain't got our linebackers. They haven't got the linebackers together yet. I believe in Quan Alexander coming back healthy and strong. That just makes Mario Davis play like his hair's on fire. Q. I don't know. People didn't realize that last year, man. When Quan Alexander went down, that was a big drop off to their defense, and even we still seeing it now. That kid is something else. But I would have to give the defense an A-. But now special team with Rojas and all that, Q, that's an F. F+ in my book. That's just been totally terrible as far as the kicking. I mean, I criticize Will Lutz in the past, don't get me wrong. But bless God, when we need them 3 points like Martin Anderson used to, it was automatic. You knew Lutz could kind of get it done, But offense, Q, I got to give him a D-. I really do. Because, like I said, I said in the chat, I'm going to keep hammering Sean Payton's play calling until I see an improvement. And like I said, why bringing Coach Chaney and Coach Moss when you had no plans of doing nothing different? That would just be like cosmetic, Q. We complained about it. So, Sean Payton, he's very methodical. He's a very wise old owl. And he'll do stuff just to get the heat off for a little while and just go back. I told Jerry in the chat, I said, she's like an old girlfriend. He just have not moved on from Drew Brees, Q. I don't know if he's going to have to go to some type of therapy or whatever, but he just won't let it go. And he's hampering Jameis. But what gets me, Q, he didn't do it with Teddy Bridgewater. What you think?
That's true. I think it kind of ratcheted up with Taysom Hill because Taysom, to many, I think in a lot of Coach Payton's play calling, Taysom makes Coach Payton's play calling a lot easier. I mean, he just calls a play and tell Taysom to go out there and go get it. Taysom goes out there and runs his head up against sometimes 7-man boxes. Ran over 2 or 3 defenders to get the touchdown. One of those touchdowns that should have electrified the Saints for the entire rest of the game, which it didn't. But it's just fascinating to see. I think to a degree that he does make Coach Payton play calling pretty easy. But I do think it's problematic that we got to figure out now. It's still experimenting at this phase because I don't think none of this is actually that Coach Payton has a feel for exactly how he wants it to be. You know what I'm saying? You can tell in the game plan. So we just still have to pay attention to it. But yeah, it definitely leaves room for improvement here.
Q, where Tony Jones Jr. went down during that game, I don't know what happened, but it was like it was shift with that offense. It's, they talk about Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill and all that. But Q, when they would give it that ball to Jones, that young man was running his heart out. And when he snapped that ankle back, Q, I thought it was broke. I really did. The way he, went when he went down. But after he got hurt, it's like to say, like it was almost on Thorazine or something. Like the offensive line coach, the way the offensive line is playing, Q. I mean, it just seems like the offensive line coach almost ought to get run out of town. I mean, now if your offense, I ain't taking that from Cesar Ruiz, but if your offense collapses just on one person, there's something really wrong with your offense. What you think?
I'm sorry, fam. There we go. That's a part of it. Is we got to realize, fam, that you're right. We have to do a better job in taking care of having the harmony issues because even the media is asking questions about Coach Payton's trust factor.
I'm sorry, McCoy. I'm sorry, I mean McCoy. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You talking about but that's a part of it. But remember, when McCoy, he's big for the offensive line. What Eric McCoy does, man, he's He does a lot for the offensive line. So getting him back after the bye will helping us run the ball more efficiently and more impactfully. But him being out does help Cesar Ruiz get the reps that he needs to play at the position. Understand it. Then really overall, the large sample size serving of it is that Cesar Ruiz didn't really do as bad as you would like. He was dominant in the Green Bay game, not so much against the Carolina Panthers. He did a good job against the Patriots, and he did a pretty good job against the Giants. The Saints did not allow any sacks to occur. The offensive line didn't allow sacks. Jameis Winston to get sacked. He was able to throw the football. He was able to do some stuff there, and then also the Saints were able to run the ball. They ran for over 100. Elvin had 120 yards. The offense period had, I think, almost 140 yards or something like that, and 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. So, I mean, they were running the football, and then, of course, the quick strike stuff that the defense allowed, the touchdown to Saquon, and then, of course, they added a few other plays. But my goodness, we couldn't even get extra downs to keep the clock marching at certain intervals of the game, which is very concerning.
That's what I'm saying, Q. You said it.
They just disappear. It's concerning.
You've been saying that for the past 4 years, Q, that a critical moment with Sean Payton with this offense, it just cracks and collapses at the most inopportune time. Woo!
Yeah.
What you think?
Well, I mean, if you watch the play calling, like remember how the game started when they started with a 7-yard gash and run to the left side with Alvin Kamara. People was bucked. Then what did Coach Payton do? He came back with a series of passing plays that stalled the offense and then end up punting the ball. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why, if you get 7 yards on the opening run, why would you then try to throw the ball? Come back and hit them with the run until they adjust. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we be overthinking this thing. Let's just simplify it, Coach. Let's just run. You hit them with the first run for 7 yards with Alvin Kamara up the left side there. Why go away from it? Just keep hitting them with that run. And if they make the adjustments, then we can then adjust and start passing the ball, but not come out with the screens and the tosses and the sweeps and all this other kind of stuff. No. Hit them. If you're getting success up the middle, running the ball to the side, to the left or to the right, running the ball in between the tackles, then keep doing that. There's no reason to go outside of the tackles with tosses or pitches or any other this kind of fanciful stuff until we've situated the running attack. Then the screens and all these other fanciful plays will open up for you once you have them in guest format, not knowing what the Saints are going to do. So
you're right, Q, right. And why you doing that, Q? When your offense line is struggling, that don't make no sense to me. Alvin Kamara you don't do a screen and he's 3rd and 8 and he gets hit behind the line. Come on, y'all. Sean Payton know better than that, Q, and you know better than that too. Come on now. For his talking plays, you play football, you know how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, you can't get in the quarterback's way in terms of his rhythm, especially if you got a young not a young quarterback. You got a quarterback that's taking over your system. You can't get in this way by mixing in quarterbacks. You're gonna have, if you want to put Taysom in the game, and the easiest part about Taysom's game is that he can fit with anybody. You can make Taysom work with anybody. I mean, you could really do it. You could put him in there with Elvin, where he like Coach had him as a fullback one time. I was like, why do that? We got a fullback, but it's all right. You can use him as a tight end. You can use him as a wide receiver. He basically plays every and all positions that you will want a guy to play, and that's what he was doing. He was handling up. So I mean, you don't have to put Taysom in the way of Elvin or Jameis. He can work in his game is good enough where it can work in harmony with those guys and not taking one of them out for you to get an opportunity to do your thing. No, you don't have to do it that way. So I think that part of the game, Coach Payton has to make some adjustments to, because I think he's still trying to figure out that thing. But you can't put Taysom Hill, let him get 2 rushing touchdowns against Alvin Kamara, your best offensive weapon, and then he gets 120 yards, get you into the red zone several times, and you don't reward him by allowing him to get a touchdown. That's not going to stand. That's not going to stand long. You got to reward your running back when you do that.
That's just like Derek Gale a couple of days ago. He was talking in chat. He said the first sure sign of trouble of Saints fans and Q is if Jameis get his confidence shook. That's going to be That's going to be a terrible thing to happen to our offense. We don't want that young man confidence getting shook every time he struggles, and then coach want to yank him and put Taysom in there because that's going to start some tension between them, And we don't want no quarterback controversy or no quarterback derby. Q, what you think?
Yeah, I think he definitely got to figure that out. We don't need no more harmony issues at the quarterback position. I mean, we really don't. And even though Jameis is not going to play it that way, but it's not about Jameis's mentality. It's about rhythm. These are rhythm players. Getting in the rhythm is a big part of a quarterback. That's why you come out and you throw the ball, you make complete passes and catches and throws and catches that build a camaraderie and get the offense in rhythm. Harmony and rhythm we talking about the same thing here. So if we want to keep that harmony and rhythm flowing throughout the game, we're going to have to allow Jameis Winston to get in the rhythm and then keep him in the rhythm. We can't then put Taysom in and pull him out. Now, outside of that, let me say this, Paul. The big ups to the family members. We're going to get right to you, Camille. Give me just a second. Please feel free to hit the like button, family. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're here, and feel free to share the show links on your social media feed. If you're listening, please hit the like button if you hadn't already hit it. And to Andre asked the question, Big Q, I'm in Houston, and the game is not to be on TV. Are you going to be doing the play-by-play? Yes, I am. Yeah, thank you for asking, Andre. I will be doing the play-by-play and the live, the watch parties, as they call, every Saints Sunday or Monday or whenever the Saints play. I'll be doing the live watch parties with the play-by-play. So, yes, sir, I will be on the call, so to speak. So thank you for asking, my friend. Big ups to the rest of the family members in the building here as well. Now, back to what you're saying, Uncle Paula. You're right. We got some harmony issues. We got some harmony issues that we got to overcome. So,
it like I say, at Sunday, whoever the O-line coach, do not put Andrews Pete on Chase Young. Don't do that. You just asking for 3 sacks right there. No, Andrews ain't gonna be able to stop that boy. They're gonna have to cross block him or send the fullback or somebody. They're gonna have to keep him because you already get Jameis pressure. Even though he didn't get sacked last week, he was still getting too much pressure. I mean, he really was. But Jameis again got to get that ball out of there quicker than that. I mean, if you 3 seconds the past couple games, now you get his pressure, you might have to get out in 2 seconds. He's gonna have to get better with that some kind of way. What you think?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I think a portion of it, like you're saying, and one of the family members, Kevin, was alluding to it. He says, we have our receivers run these long developed routes. We need a quick game attack. Too tight to coverage our draw them in close. And I get what you're saying, Kevin. The reality is, you're right. Like when the Saints stalled, and remember I was saying this in previous broadcasts, that the Saints need to just sporadically jump into their 2-minute offense. Just jump into the 2-minute offense. Just jump into it. Jump into the 2-minute offense and run the 2-minute offense. And when you're struggling, that'll give you the ability to have, give you some. That'll give you the offense to be able to sporadically jump in and give you rhythm for the offense. That's my son, y'all. my youngest son. They give you the offense to sporadically get into rhythm and do what they need to do what needs to be done. So, like you're right, is that we as a team, we definitely have to have an offense. We definitely have to have an offense that's in rhythm, quick strike offense. And, of course, when you have speedy pass rushing ends like Sweat and Chase Young, you're going to have to you got to have that quick snap count because, you don't have Tyron in there. You do have James Hurst in there. And Hurst's game is not is not blocking Montrez Sweat or Chase Young. That's not a good look. So what the Saints need to do is, like I said, they got to run the ball, but they also got to have a quick snap count, meaning Jameis is going to have to get the ball out quick. And they also, if they need rhythm, if they stall out in rhythm, just go into your 2-minute offense. Like, well, excuse me, why go into your 2-minute offense? Why go into your 2-minute offense queue and it ain't 2 minutes? Well, the 2-minute offense is an offense built on rhythm, where it's a 9-huddle offense. It's meant to kind of take off guard the defense, keep them on the field, deprive them of the ability to make substitutions and stuff, and tiring them out. That's right. So you no huddle, you lining up, force them to burn a timeout, and that's what you do. That's what you're going to have to utilize as opposed to trying to do this kind of stuff. So, like I said, a lot of it is predicated on just
creating a reasonable. That's why this is a great think tank. We just have to rationalize it because it makes common sense. I'm not asking James Hurst to block Chase Young or Montrez Sweat. Hell no.
Oh no,
you can't do
That's
that. Right.
Yeah.
You
and
know.
Probably every other play too, Q. It ain't gonna be just every now and then. You have to help that man.
Right.
Shoot.
No, we absolutely not gonna ask him to do that. You're gonna have to help him, Jameis, by getting the ball out, quick snap, and Jameis got to get rid of it. You're gonna also have to run the ball more to neutralize the pass rush, like I told Brother Aaron. I told him, listen, the best way you can neutralize a speedy team is to run right at them. You're gonna have to let your big offensive linemen kind of round out and grind out those speedy speedy defensive linemen. You're gonna have to run at them. Let the big guys like what we have now. We know Hurst is not a great pass blocker. Neither is Kelvin Throckmorton. But we also know that those guys. I know that James Hurst can run block. I know really well. I know that Throckmorton can run block pretty well, and Cesar Ruiz is a pretty good run. I mean, majority of those guys are pretty good run blockers.
Where's Will Clapp? We could use him out there. Shoot, man. Can't Will Clapp play a little center? Shoot, man.
You can line Clapp up and see. And another component that I want to throw at the great Saint thing too is the fact that when you roll out, when the Saints get back Nick Vannett, which was the veteran tight end the Saints signed, the 6'7" tight end they picked up from the Denver Broncos, having him out, getting him back in the game, despite the fact that we seeing Troutman struggle a bit. But Vannett is the best blocking tight end that you have. He's really just a tight end offensive lineman out there who's a big red zone weapon who can catch the ball. He's 6'7", and he's a hell of a blocker. So getting him back gives you an extra incentive to run the football as well. And he should be coming back after the bye week too. A lot of people forgot about him, rightfully so. But he has a role to play in the Saints' rushing attack as well. So, like I said, we just have to be careful. Be careful and realize that we just have to make sure we stay within the realm of the team and know who we're dealing with, and that we can't let Jameis Winston stay back there and hold the ball looking around all day and do that. That's a recipe for disaster. You got to get that ball out quick, Jameis. You got a quick count. You got a quick count, get the ball out, and let the running game, you got to hit them with the running game. Use some fullback. Let's use our tight ends in there. Let's hit them, and let's develop this clock. Let them commit resources there. And guess what? The Washington football team will give you an opportunity to throw the ball downfield. They will. They're a terrible pass defensive team. They give up over 307 yards per contest. You can rush at 118 yards on a game. They're not a very good defense is what I'm saying. So we need to take advantage of that. We need to, besides their speedy guys on the defensive line, when you run at them, you'll have success is what I'm saying, which is what we should do.
Q, when does Sean Payton go by that? You said that last week that the Giants struggled against the run. Did he run the dang on ball all game long? No. I don't know why Sean Payton be ignoring them game reports and stuff. What's he looking at him for? What is he looking at? He don't follow him. He don't take advantage of the the other team weakness, but other team know how to take care of our weaknesses. Now that's a trip.
Yeah, it's like I said. I think Coach Payton's still figuring it out. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. He's still figuring it out. And more than likely, times you'll see him have these curious play calls, which you'd be like, "What was that?" The 58. Even people that on radio was questioning the play call to kick a 58-yard field goal, and I was like, "Good. Let the rationale of the great Saint thing reverberate out through the entire Who Dat Nation. Let them understand. They start questioning a lot of this, and let this permeate throughout the great Saint think tank and the entire Who Dat Nation, that we're not fan-minded people. We're not fanatic-minded people.
That's true.
Fanatics are devoid of the rational thought process. You're a fanatic mind. No, we are people that empower the team. We follow the team. We analyze the team. We know the team. But when people got their thinking caps on when they're looking at the game like that, and I'm very happy to see that. See more people questioning that. I really am, because that's how you make a change.
You tickled me, Q, with Rojas come out there. You said 58-yard field goal. Really, Sean Payton? You said, okay, if he makes this kick, then he needs to be on the team. You said, but I doubt it. Said, look at that. There it is. See that? Look at that. Missed it. See that? Said, why is it kill the momentum? We had a drive. Going, and like you said, Q, when you play tight and close like that, them zebras start getting in the way. I mean, all of a sudden, Here, all the flags started getting on the Saints. All of a sudden, I said,
It's
and the
uniform.
fans tonight.
I've seen another. It's not hard to see them dance. They dance the same way every time they do it. So I mean, it's hard to not see what they're doing when you start paying attention to them. It's a rhythm to what they're doing, and it's a style to what they're doing, and they're very predictable. How they control and manipulate the games is very predictable. That's why I can look at them and see what they're doing and call them out before it is and say, okay, listen, if you allow them to keep the games close, you're going to get really curious calls like they cheated and gave the Giants a touchdown they should never have had. Then they went and reviewed it, turned around and still gave it to them. And you know that wasn't no touchdown. So like I was telling people, you give them the power to review calls. What good is giving the bastard that's corrupt the power to review the call for him to call it the same way? That don't make that his order for true transparency to occur, for it to be honest, it has to be taken out of the grasp of the NFL and put in an independent or unindependent board to take a look at it. And they never do that because they don't want nobody peeking in because they know what they're doing is fraudulent and they're putting up a fraud. The way to do that, to beat is the Saints been beating the referees for years. They've been beating them for years by taking the referees out of the game, by putting their foot down on the adversary, and that eliminates the referees. That way we beat the team and the referees, because if you allow them to stick close like that, you're going to get a lot of these weird calls like you've seen. The touchdown that they gave to the Giants, and that man knew it wasn't a touchdown. He knew that man didn't even have control of the ball. But even if the referee called it and said it was a touchdown, and they go back and look at it from several different angles to see the man never truly had possession, he's supposed to control the ball all the way down to the ground, which he didn't. And then they still gave it to him, which against their own rules, they create catch areas. They create gray areas in between the call so they can do stuff like that, so they can manipulate the game. That's why they mess with what is a catch and what's not a catch. They want confusion and gray area in there so they can tap around and manipulate these games. That's how I go. Game manipulation is
phantom calls.
It happens. Manipulation of any game is through the referee. Now, back in the day, it was done point shaving, which Magic Johnson got caught in before he got kicked out of the league. Point shaving, which is also something Jordan got caught up in. Do your research. And John Hot Rod Williams was another one. A lot of them got caught up in the point shaving and stuff like that. But that became caught on because a lot of even people like Donahoe, who's a former referee, wrote books on it talking about this, that, and third. So they don't really try to do a lot of that no more. So what they do is a lot of the manipulation occurs through the referees because the referees cannot be called out. They can't be challenged or none of this. So they try to hang them up high like the referees are the vestiges of integrity and they do what they're supposed to do. That is bull crap. The referee is a piece of scum. He's a piece of filth. He's out there to perpetuate the not to call a clean game. He's out there to try to carry along a narrative for the people that's controlling and paying the strings. That's why they manipulate, control the referees by keeping them at a part-time level. All this stuff has lines that connect back to one. Man, you can go and look up all this
Vegas happy too, you know.
Yeah, then all of a sudden Vegas is now on top of the Superdome. Vegas is running a lot of these sports betting websites that's putting lines on the game. Say the Saints will win by 3. The Saints will win by. How do you know that? How you put lines on these games? How you know it? See what I'm saying? I mean,
and they try to make the score just like that, Q. Just like you remember I said 21-17 Saints, and the Giants just had to mess up my score.
But the crazy part about it is the Giants and Jets won last week by the same score. Both of them scored 27 if I remember correctly. So I mean, sometimes it's just what it is. Man. You got the way to beat is you got to call it out because most of the people, and I do this on Ring Kings Boxing. When I talk about one of the worst and corrupt sports that you ever known is boxing. It's the worst. It's the worst. Like I'll be proving to people all the time. Like recently, in boxing, they just had the Olympics. The Olympics had an investigation and found out that they were fixing the fights in the Olympics. How do you fix the fights in the Olympics? But they were doing it. They just had an investigation.
That's crazy.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though. All of this still happens. And as long as you're informed and you calling it out and you airing that dirty laundry, you allow you controlling the narrative. You putting the real narrative out. They can't spin it like they want because they can't be corrupt unless they spin a narrative that we're loaded with integrity. They're not loaded with integrity. They're loaded with BS.
But you know,
Paul Dung and any other crap that you can imagine.
If you notice something cute, I forgot it was one of the football shows on, and they were saying last year about how a lot of these NFL games, the average is usually around 21-17, somewhere in that each game. If you see it, it'd be the exact score, a little bit, under there a little bit, but it's just like some kind of average. You know, it just crazy. Remember that game last year? Alex Anzalone jumping on the pile, and the referee throwing the flag. We're like, what is he doing? Oh, illegal out in the paint. I'm like, one of the commentators said that he had heard that penalty called at least 10 years in the NFL. Now you know that's a mess.
Well, I
jumping
mean,
on the pile, really?
Yeah, jumping on the pile. Yeah, most of this stuff is like the tuck rule. There was no tuck rule. Been watching football for years. They just created it out of nowhere.
Tom Brady fumbled that ball just the day was long, man.
Yeah,
Brady
it was fun. But see, they do that. They do that in front of you and say no, and then they get the guy, the referee. He on par. So when you have a screwed up call, the referee comes out and the guy sits up there and says to you, "Oh well, yes, that's the correct call according to the rules." So they got a guy on hand to bullshit you. So what you saying is not the truth. Here come the referee to explain the call to you like you don't have no sense. So like I said, it's a bunch of BS, man. Just keep your mind, man. Just keep your mind and don't believe the bull. Don't believe the bull. Tell me about it. Says, did you hear where Jason Lockerford was saying that we are dark horse to trade for Deshaun Watson? Yeah, I did hear about that. I did hear the
really?
Lockerford, and there was several other reports. And various polling general managers said that the Saints are a dark horse team. To try to line Deshaun Watson. I don't know how
Wouldn't
true
it be so cute to shake it up? That would hurt Jameis and Taysom Hill too.
I don't know how true it is.
Watson, that'd be awesome.
I don't know how true it is. I know there's just rumors out leaking right now. But locking forward is
never know, Q.
So I don't know, man.
Mickey Loomis might be back over there whispering in that corner of that office. You just never know. But it would solve our quarterback position, but I hate it would hurt Jameis, but hey, you sometimes just for time call for desperate means, you know. But you don't know what you would have to give up to get him too, Q. You might have to give up Michael Thomas or somebody. You just never know.
Well, that's a part of it.
Saints have done strange things in the past, you know.
Well, I don't know what they're gonna give up. I don't know if they won't want a trade. I think you might be able to get a Stephon Gilmore type deal where you get a fifth or sixth round pick to get him up out of there because
he ain't happy.
I mean, he's still facing legalities, and you never know what can end up with that. So that's so far out. I don't know exactly how that's gonna play, family. To be honest with you, we just keep our eyes on it. You know, that's the best thing we can do. Derek says the report was from a third party, bro. If you know anything about the Saints, you know that unless the Texans giving away Watson, is not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. I really, I don't really know if it's valid. I did see rumor reports concerning Lockerford and all them saying some stuff like that. So I don't know. Pelican notices Big Q, you got in the fight tonight, Wilder or Fury? Well, listen, me and Too Mean, and I want y'all to send prayers out to my brother Too Mean. We haven't done the Ring Kings boxing show in a while. Too Mean has COVID, so I want y'all to pray for him. He's in the hospital. He's been in the hospital for the last 2 days. And I want y'all to pray for my brother Eddie Too Mean Johnson. He's a co-host of the Ring Kings Boxing podcast that we do on Ring Kings Boxing World, our other boxing platform. So pray for him. That's why we hadn't done a showing that he's in the hospital, but he's supposed to get out on Monday and he's doing better. So I mean, just pray for my brother. Send prayers to him. Pelicans Nola wants to know Wilder or Fury tonight. Me and him was talking today. And he informed me that Fury is wearing the same gloves that he wore from the second fight, which was they had a lot of stuff going along with the gloves the first time around that they were complaining about. So if he's wearing them same kind of gloves, we're gonna have to watch and see if any kind of nonsense occurs here, because people saying that ESPN and all them, I've seen all them bastards get up there and talk about, oh, it's all in Deontay Wilder's head that Tyson Fury, he's accused him of cheating, accusing him of putting stuff in his glove, accuse him of this, accuse him of that. And Tyson Fury on the press conference said, I'm not getting mad at him because he's an unwell person and all this kind of stuff. No, Tyson Fury, cut that out. Bro, I know your entire history, bro. I know all about you, bro. I done studied Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is putting this stuff on here, but he was on cocaine and stuff. That's why he failed the drug test for when he had the rematch coming with Klitschko. He beat Klitschko by a decision. He beat him by a decision because it was tough. Klitschko was he beat Klitschko by a decision. He didn't knock him out. He beat him by a decision because he got an irky jerky style that made Klitschko uncomfortable.
Wow.
But he beat him by decision. After that, he said that it was cocaine the reason why he tested dirty. It wasn't. It came out that it was steroids. He tried to pay off a farmer to say that he bought tainted meat from him, and then it would have got away with it if his team was so freaking greedy and decided to pay the farmer the money that they owed him. So they stiffed the farmer, and the farmer blew the whistle on him. So how that go? So I mean, there's plenty of other stuff. His boxing resume is he only fought really 3 people that you won't mention. He got a curious boxing resume. Listen, Tyson Fury is an awesome fighter. He can fight his ass off, but Deontay Wilder is not crazy about what he's saying. They had the doctor check Deontay Wilder's side of his head. He had a dent in his head, and then Deontay said, felt like I had got hit with an egg timer in his gloves. So all this stuff behind what happened, and Deontay Wilder was fighting him, but that man was cheating in the first fight, and Wilder ain't say nothing because he won by decision. The second fight, Tyson Fury knocked the piss out of Deontay Wilder, beat him down in the ring, and Deontay talking about he blaming his costume. But I know all about this stuff. But the problem is with a lot of these dudes, man, boy, their head is so far up that cloud, in them clouds, and they got all these yes men around them, not keeping it real and not telling them the truth. So I'm gonna say this and leave it alone. But if Tyson against Deontay Wilder should beat Tyson Fury tonight. He pissed off at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury humiliated him. And Tyson Fury did not want to fight him this time. The courts forced him to have a third fight. So, you know, I wanted to get into
a lot. That's really saying a lot.
He did not want to fight him because Deontay Wilder got blood in his eyes for him this time around. So, I mean, listen, I'm going Wilder on this one because Tyson Fury, man, listen, he got that dude from the Crunk gym, and I think he kind of suspicious in terms of what he doing too, because most of them dirty, man. It's just boxing so damn dirty, man. It's so dirty. But yeah, like I said, I'm going Wilder on this one, man. Wilder on this, but my boy Eddie did say that Tyson Fury have the same gloves he had on from the second fight, and those same gloves was in question of what's going on. So we're gonna see how it all shakes, man, because there's a whole apparatus that want Fury to fight Anthony Joshua because they can get their first $1 billion fight, which will come in. It's all about money. But anyway, listen, we're gonna keep going. But yeah, thank y'all for shooting prayers out to Eddie Too Mean Johnson, man. He do a great job there. But I'm thinking Tyson Deontay Wilder is gonna beat the shit out of Tyson Fury tonight. I'm just gonna keep it real.
I believe that too, Q. I believe that, but you like you said, you know, boxing been dirty. You know, back in the day, you used to rub liniment on them gloves and punch people in the eye, the nose, and all that old kind of mess. They've been doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we gonna see again. We gonna keep it's all on him. So we gonna see. Because listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. He was in the press conference today. He was pointing at Deontay Wilder's trainer, J. Diaz. Deontay fired the guy that stopped the fight because the guy was beating. Tyson Fury was beating Deontay Wilder in the ring. And Wilder's crazy. He's crazy. He think he a gladiator back in the day. These guys are they detached from reality. The guy saved the guy threw the towel in, which a trainer's supposed to do to save his fighter. He fired the guy for throwing the towel in. Tyson Fury would have killed him in there or brain damaged him. He couldn't protect himself. He fired the man that threw the towel in, saying, listen, I stopped it because you're bleeding from your ears. You're bleeding from your ears. And he fired him for that and then blamed him for tampering his water. I said, hold on, bro.
Brain damage bleeding from your ear.
I said, listen, bro, listen, Deontay Wilder. We made a video too. I said, listen, Deontay, well, let me tell you something. You out of your fucking mind, man. You fired this man. He saved your life. If you not would have thrown that towel in, you would have been impaired. He would have beat you into a vegetable in that ring. He would have beat you into a vegetable in that ring, and then you would never been able to enjoy your family again. How you fire a man? That's number one. Then you blame him, talk about he spiked your water or something. No, if anybody was dirty, it's J. Diaz, your trainer from that you had, who was in the room watching Tyson Fury get his hands wrapped. So if you're complaining about stuff in his gloves, J. Diaz, who's your trainer, went there to watch Tyson Fury get his gloves, his hands wrapped, and the gloves wrapped and taped to his hands. So if anybody was dirty, it was him. And then I also seen footage, and I showed footage where the guy that J. Diaz was giving him water too. So how you blame Mark, I forgot the brother name, but how you blame him and not J. Diaz, and even Tyson Fury said, so how did you still got J. Diaz there? If he was in on the conspiracy too, just playing with him. And I was like, don't worry about all that. No, you a fool. You're a fool. But see, the reality is, man, it's dirty in the game, and you got to watch yourself. But Deontay Wilder, man, bro, you need to get better people around you and not these flipping yes men. And most of the people out there, look, family, when y'all family members get up way up in the sky and y'all be uber successful and y'all living y'all best life, keep people around you that's going to keep it real with you. Don't get up there and get these flipping yes men. Whatever you do, you're not getting these parasites because they own it there. They're like the people that was hanging around with Antonio Brown while he was spiraling down. Remember them people? Oh, Antonio, you're doing great. And he in the plane going toward the mountain. And they jumping out at the last minute. They ain't telling them the truth. Ride with people that's gonna keep it real and tell you the truth. Don't ride with these people out here that's lying their ass off, just being parasites that's sticking up on you. You know, keep it real. You're gonna get way up in the sky. Bring the real people with you. Don't bring these fake ass bastards up here that can't keep it real, man. I can't stand that. The more parasites out there, man.
I'm with you.
But
like
anyway,
when the money's gone, they gonna be gone. You sitting up there working at Taco Bell. They ain't thought about it no more.
They'll talking stuff about you, making fun of you then. That's what I'm saying, man. Keep it real with the people that keep it real with you. And when you get on your feet and you go places, take them people with you. Take them with you. Don't go pick up them bastards out there who a bunch of yes men that just gonna appreciate to you all day and feed your ego. That's not what you need. You don't need, and that's all them people be having up there to feed your ego. Or you the greatest, this, that, and the third. Then you get your brakes beat off for you, and then you come falling, crashing down to reality. Know what time it is? No, man, you should have been known what type of game that was. All that's corrupt. Even Mayweather was saying that for years. They need to clean up boxing. What Mayweather was talking about? Oh, they need to clean up boxing. The corruption that goes on in boxing, all the stuff that goes on. But I'm gonna leave that for Ring Kings. That's how I get down on Ring Kings. By the way, if y'all won't listen to me on Ring Kings, I get more. I'm rougher on there than I am on any broadcast. To be honest with you.
And you don't give the Pelicans no wooden nickel either. They got together too.
But I hit them hard. The hardest I hit you on that Ring Kings boxing, I hit them hard on that Ring Kings, harder than I hit it on the Saints or any other way. It's another level on that Ring King. But anyway, let me keep on going there. Uncle Paul, stay right there. I'm gonna bring in Antisocial 504 to the show. Antisocial 504. Thank you for waiting, my brother. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Salute to everybody. Salute to your chat, your panel. And who that to the death of me, you heard me?
Who that?
Who that?
Hey, I just want to ask you a question because I find it kind of ironic. I haven't heard no news about Michael Thomas. Like, have y'all heard anything about him? I heard he's supposed to come off the pup list after the bye, but like I haven't heard about like him getting back into the swing of the offense or him getting back like in practice or nothing. Like I haven't heard no news about Michael Thomas at all. Can you clarify? Like, can you put some insight on that at all?
I haven't either.
No, it's really it's not after the bye, directly after the bye that Mike Thomas. I was looking at something a couple of days ago by Mike Thomas, and from what I'm getting is he's not one of the guys that we're looking at to come back directly right after the bye. They're looking at several weeks past the bye, and they're gonna give him some time to kind of work him in there slow. But like the people that I've been hearing on word on the street that's coming round right after the bye is David Onyemata, Nick Vanette, Quan Alexander, Traquan Smith, and who else is there? There's several other players. McCoy is one of them, and there's several other players. But Will Lutz and Mike Thomas, those guys are supposed to be a little further down. That's what I'm hearing word on the street. That's what I'm getting.
Lord. I don't think we're gonna see our offense open back up until he get back on the field. Like I had said in the comic session, dog, it's kind of hard for Jameis Winston to release the ball fast, bro, when none of your receivers can beat man coverage. Like a lot of them receivers are second receivers at best, dog, on most teams, even if that.
Wow, that's true to a certain degree.
Yeah. I mean, we seen that happen, like the separation issue. People saying that they're not gaining the necessary separation. Do you see that with Deontay Harris too? You think Deontay Harris is having separation issues too? Antisocial 504. What you think?
Man, he is small, man. He like what, 5'9"?
5'10", something like that. I won't say.
Man, yeah, he is small, man. Like, and he got a little speed, bro. Yeah, but like he got a little speed to him, but though, like I always say something that's wrong with the Saints. We don't have nobody that fears taking off the defense, dog, taking off the top on the defense. We are the slowest team in the NFL. We have been the slowest team in the NFL for the last 3-4 years, man. Like we haven't had a burner on that side of the ball in I don't know how long. Maybe since what, Brandon Cooks, maybe?
Well, I mean, we had a couple of guys. Not
Willie
in starter
Snead.
capacity. Yeah, well, I mean, but they wasn't as fast as what you talking. When you bring up Cooks or Henderson or guys like that would just take off on you. Nah, we ain't have
Exactly.
super burners like that from the starting level. Yeah, we had a couple of guys you might reserve guys that would come in and have some speed, but we didn't utilize them like what you said, the Cooks or anything. But yeah, you look statistically speaking, it does favor your argument about the Saints wide receivers not gaining the separation. A portion of that.
The joke you said that all of them just possession receivers. I don't believe that, but that's a running joke too.
Yeah, but I think Callaway is more than just Callaway is not a possession receiver. I think Callaway does have the size and speed to get deep. But I think a lot of it too is like a portion of it is the running game to me. Because like I said, I think that if you can get the ball downfield to him, like if you can throw him open. Like remember the play with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill had Deontay Harris streaking down the field. He had Bradbury burnt.
Couldn't get the ball to him.
He severely underthrew Deontay Harris. So that was a key to me. It's like, okay, the Saints wide receivers are getting downfield. Deontay Harris was streaking downfield. If Taysom Hill would have threw the punt, like we know he throws punts all the time, that was a shank punt or whatever you want to call it. He didn't lay it out there that time. He severely underthrew that thing to the point where Deontay had to stop running his route, break off his route, and then get into a 50-50 jump battle at 5'6" with Bradbury, who's 6'1", 6'2" for the ball, and Bradbury won it easily. So I mean, yeah, it show at different points fit your argument, and some I can see that if it's kind of the opposite way, because I do see the Saints guys like Deontay Harris getting downfield. Sometimes we reach him, sometimes we don't. That was an example in which we didn't get to him, and he was running downfield. Now you've seen Jameis take shots at Marquez Callaway. He gets deep and make plays. So when he had the 4-catch performance. So, I mean, statistically, you're accurate, like in terms of what we doing downfield. That's why a lot of people saying, Q, we need Mike Thomas back because he's a guy that draws the double team, maybe could free up some one-on-ones.
Exactly.
But who we got out there that's drawing double teams, though?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. You got your number one, Wayne Harris, Marcus Callaway, they getting your number one corner. Them boys don't know how to beat them boys yet, man. They getting the best corners. Where they used to seeing your nickel your nickel slots or your nickel cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't beat your number one corners, man. That's why I said Michael Thomas you might see the offense open up. Yeah, but with me, I can kind of see which I heard y'all talking earlier when you was talking about Sean Payton and how the offense looking. If you ask me, he's got a quarterback he don't trust in. He don't trust Jameis.
Yeah, that's bad too. That ain't good.
Well,
I don't think he trusts Jameis at all.
He said it does, bro, but that could be a bit of little PR there.
That's all that is. Because if you can tell by how he calling the game plan, I haven't seen Jameis check out a play yet, none this year. Have you?
You right.
I ain't seen him check out one play.
You got to give him the ability. I mean, if veteran experience count for anything, a guy with 70 plus games of NFL experience, you got to let him audible out of some plays.
Exactly.
And make moves and slide protections. If Jameis walks up to the line, a lot of that's pre-snap. I mean, the quarterback line up everything. He looks at his offensive line. He looks and sees if everybody's set. And then, of course, he glances over the line of scrimmage, looks at the defense, see what kind of scheme that they're in. I'm looking across that field. I'm looking to see if I see movement. If I see linebackers that's showing the propensity like they're going to block, or they're going to blitz. And if they're blitzing, where are they blitzing from? So I might have to slide protections to that side so I can get whatever, or make an audible out of a run that could be detrimental to a pass to take advantage of their.
That's so important.
So I mean, yeah, this is true. We got and listen. 4 games into it, 70+ games of NFL experience for Jameis Winston. He gonna have to learn. He's definitely got to learn the system. But it's social 504. Even the media is chiming in with what you're saying because they asked Coach Payton about trust. Do you trust Jameis Winston? They asked Jameis, does Sean Payton trust it? He said, I think he does, and I trust him. And then Sean Payton said the same thing. But on the field,
don't look like it.
It's showing a little bit different.
Exactly.
But do you also, let me throw this in there too. Let me throw this in here too. Could it be possibly that it's still a part of the learning process as they're still learning the nuances of each other, knowing Coach Payton's learning Jameis Winston as a player and vice versa? Do you think that's also a part of why we're not seeing
I would agree with you. This was
how long is this
Jameis.
going to take?
Jameis has been there for 2 years now with us, right?
Correct.
This is second year right here. So
You
I'm
better
pretty
say it.
sure. I'm pretty sure Sean Payton knows what he got. I just don't believe he can't cut him loose. He was like, if I cut you loose, you're gonna start throwing on picks, and that is detrimental to us losing football games. So I can't cut you loose. I gotta reel you. I gotta keep you reeled in to make sure you don't make bonehead decisions, bro. I don't believe he trusts him in his decision making to getting the ball down the field, getting the ball to certain people. Like I said, I don't believe he's gonna be able to open up that offense until Michael Thomas get back. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's saving them for Michael Thomas.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I think I think a lot of it is how you. I think Taysom Hill is like the X factor in all this, and X factor in good and bad. X factor. What I mean is that he produces to a degree, but it's a cost for his production. Like it's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. But it's the right and the wrong way to handle stuff. But you know, you gonna get production. You get Taysom's touchdowns, but at the cost of a pissed off Kamara because he carried the ball 20 plus times for 120 plus yards, no 0 touchdowns. What if that is the trend? What they saying? Well, Kamara is going to be simply the guy to get him down there, but don't get in there. That's not going to work.
Yeah, Kamara gonna get highly pitched off. You can't do that.
You can't do that because Elvin
Yeah,
Kamara.
you can't do that.
Yeah, because his touchdown. See, and they were like, "Why not Q? He's team first." That's to a fault, fam. They said that. Listen, that's they say that as respect out of the team, but it's not team statistics that individuals get paid. It's individual statistics get players individually paid.
Exactly.
I can't say because I'm on the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL that I deserve number 1 rank. I deserve the top pay in the NFL because I was
exactly. What's your individual stats? Exactly.
Right. Well, I was the backup on the. I was a second string linebacker on special teams, but that don't matter. I played in the defense out of defense at the time, so I still feel like they don't do that. So when it comes down to contract, it's about individual statistics to pay. Touchdowns mean money for Elvin Kamara. It helps him reach incentives in his contract. So if he's not reaching incentives or extra incentives and that's letting it within his contract, that could be problematic for a start. And we know you could piss off some people, but people that you don't want piss off is Elvin Kamara, your best offensive person.
Any word on Tyron Armstead when he coming back?
No word on Armstead yet, bro. No word on Armstead.
I hope he ain't out for the rest of the season. It ain't looking
I was thinking that, dog. Like he might be out for the rest of the season, man, because he's dealing with
your elbow issue. I won't say. Let me look that up real quick. Let me look that up right quick because I haven't seen a time. Let me see here. Because it might have. I did look. I think I looked this morning on yesterday. Give me a second. Let me pull that out.
And while you're doing it, I just want to say this to y'all too. I want to see Ty Montgomery more in the running and passing, and Zigbo. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, Zigbo, we'll see. He was signed to the active roster. I would love to see what he can bring to the team and see what goes on there. Let me see. The only thing they're saying about Big Armstead is that him and McCoy is out. Armstead injured his elbow against the Pats, and there's no timeline on. It's no time frame on Teron Armstead.
Lord have mercy. See, when you hear that, dog, that means they're gonna be out for some time, dog.
But it could be a good thing because I don't think they IR'd him. They didn't. I don't think they IR'd Teron Armstead. Hold on. Yeah, hold on here, bro. Yeah, matter of fact, I think we covered this. Yeah, we covered this. We covered this sometime. Hold on, let me show y'all the report here. We covered this on the show maybe several weeks ago, by the way. Hold on, let me put this up because I remember covering this article right here. That Armstead expected to be out for several weeks with elbow injury. So we covered that. This was a while ago, and this report was when? Because I remember doing the show on this report. This was when this was article. Yeah, September the 27th. Yeah, I remember this article. We did this a while ago, so several weeks. I don't think he's on the IR list. Let me make sure that didn't change. But I don't think he's on the IR list right now. I think they just holding him. I'm gonna check on that to make sure. So several weeks. That 3 to 4 weeks says several. Weeks. Y'all know what several means. But yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, that's an elbow issue. So Arch said 6 to 8 weeks or several weeks. They said, but who knows? Yeah. And I don't think he's on the IR. He's not on the IR. Okay, Rose says no, he's not on the IR. Okay, I'm just going. Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that they ain't do it at the last moment. Slip them on there. I'm gonna look at the IR because they usually have it all listed on their website. Okay, you still got Alexander, Crawley, Jalen Dalton, Davenport, Greenwich, Hanson, Tony Jones Jr., Will Lutz, Brian Poole, Traquan Smith, Dylan Soner, and Nick Vanette. So no, he is not on the IR list. So they hold him there. But just a positive because usually if it's a prolonged sitting, they would IR him to open up a slot for somebody else to play. So it's good news that they didn't IR him from this report back, when he got hurt. So it could be something coming. He could be coming.
I'm still waiting for the Jordan Humphrey to have a 100-yard breakout game. I'm still waiting on it.
I don't know about Jordan Humphrey having a breakout game. He ain't gonna be active this game. They got other games ahead of him. Yeah, Kenny Stills,
Chris Hogan. You heard me?
Yeah, Chris Hogan and Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills, when Kenny Stills signed on the team, that slid LaJordan Humphrey down the wide receiver depth chart. So I mean, now you probably ain't gonna see LaJordan Humphrey right now. Because you got, like you said, you got Chris, you got Kenny Stills and Chris Hogan, and those guys are getting more shine than LaJordan Humphrey right now.
Well, don't go away from Juwan Johnson. He been catching touchdowns.
Let me tell you something, Chris Hogan in there, he made a couple of catches and he had a real beautiful block on the linebacker, just depleted the hell out of him.
I seen that.
I love that.
Man.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that one, man. That was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That Saints football
bro, I got a question, man. Realistically, what do you see we going? What you think? What you think our record will be this year? Because where we going, dog, I feel like we going south more than we going north right now, dog. And for some strange feeling, dog, I got a feeling that we gonna lose to the Redskins.
I hope not. That'd be going to a
I don't think we're gonna lose to the Redskins, to be honest with you, bro. And I think we gonna I'm trying to refrain from getting a count of it, but I'm gonna just say double digits. Double digits. Yeah, I think we get double digits wins here this year, bro. I really do. I think the Saints turn it around, bro, to be honest with you, because how could they not turn it around? Like you getting all these guys back.
The Rams,
you getting a lot of your key personnel back. You're getting Michael Thomas back. These guys are gonna be healthy down the line. You get Will Lutz back, you're kicking game back, so you get all that back. You also get Eric McCoy back, eventually get Teron Armstead back, you get Quan Alexander back, you get David Onyemata back, you get all these other really impactful players back. All of them. You get
Quan Alexander can't stay healthy to save his life, dog.
I know, but the Saints hurt, man. Yeah, he got some stuff, but like I said, the Saints, that was like a precautionary move the Saints did with him to kind of set him down. But like I said, he's impactful, and for and it's pluses out of it. Like when guys like Mike Thomas sit down, that gives Callaway and Deontay Harris an opportunity to gain valuable in-game reps to get better, so they can fortify the wide receiver position underneath. So those guys got valuable snaps early. Guys like when you see guys go down like some of the offensive linemen that we seen go down, these guys get reps. Linebackers, Quan Alexander went down. Pete Werner stepped up. He got reps.
Werner,
Zach Bourne looked good in certain contests this year for the black and gold. So you look at guys when Marshawn was hurting and Ken Crawley went down with injury. Paulson Adebo was thrown in there. He got a lot of valuable reps to the point where he's fending off Bradley Roby, who's a very good cornerback, from starting. So I mean, this is so the injuries is like a curse and a blessing almost. But you are not losing these guys for the season. Like you're losing these guys during the season. You're gonna get these guys back for the season. So it's still a lot of football left, and there's too many good players coming back for me to say that the Saints tank. Absolutely not. If we win in games with our backups, when we get our impactful guys back in there, we'll steady the ship and we'll get double digits and we'll get better into the season. Still very on, a lot of football left. And I do think they beat the Washington football team this Sunday.
Is it in Washington?
Yes, sir.
Oh Lord. But Washington, nah. But the thing is, though, like going into the Washington have been playing up to their potential, like since this year started. Like they defense actually sucks this year. Like that defense ain't playing nowhere near. I thought how they was gonna be playing after they played last year, dog. I thought they was gonna have like one of the top 5 ranked defenses this year. They don't. They don't. They didn't slip the notch.
You wait till they play the Saints, though. You know how everybody step up against us.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I be man. What? I'm like everybody bring their A game when they play the Saints, huh?
Hey, what's up, Ty?
What's up, Mookie? What's going on, bro?
What's up, Mook?
What's up with it, man? Hey, look, I'm telling y'all, we in for a big one, man. It's a big game.
Hey, big brother. He don't really know nothing about football, so excuse him. You heard me?
Mookie be talking and stuff. He got some game.
Yeah, but what the hell you talking about?
That my little brother, dog.
Okay, all right.
That's who put me on to your channel.
Yeah,
I appreciate Mook.
I appreciate Mook, man. Hey, look.
Go ahead, Mook. You going in and out, brother.
Here the thing is, bro. I just don't think that Sean Payton trusts Jameis Winston, man. I just think that Sean Payton's not opening his full playbook for Jameis Winston. You know, Jameis Winston, he's not a guy where he likes to do check down passes. You know, he likes to bring the ball. He likes to throw the ball downfield, man. And I just think that Sean Payton don't have the trust in doing them because you put in Taysom Hill and shit like that. What that's doing is that's fucking up Jameis Winston rhythm. It's like, in a prime example, when Jameis Winston threw a touchdown pass to Kenny Stills where they got called back, Sean Payton on the next play gonna put in Taysom Hill, and he gonna do the same play that Jameis Winston do, and that shit went for another interception and shit like that. So I just feel as though that Sean Payton don't have trust in Jameis Winston like that. And another thing I think too is that getting on Jameis Winston, I think he holds the ball too long. You hear me? Because I think that in order to succeed in the Sean Payton system, you have to. It's all about quick decision making. He has to get the ball out of his hands quickly. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that, man, I can't really judge on how Jameis Winston playing because he has to get his full weapons back. But another thing too, man, is just play calling. Sean Payton is like his play calling really fucked us up these last couple of games, man. His play calling, he has to put in trust in Jameis Winston and shit like that, bro. Real talk.
But your play calling gonna be limited, Mook, if you don't believe in your quarterback. You heard me?
That's what I'm saying.
You can't put it on Sean Payton if he don't believe. Like I said, dog, it's kind of hard to get the ball out when none of your receivers can beat man coverage.
But listen, Here the thing is, the thing about Jameis Winston is he's not an accurate quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that separates Drew Brees from Jameis Winston, that's why Drew Brees was so successful succeeding in the Sean Payton system because Drew Brees' quick decision making, him able to get the ball out of his hands very quickly. Jameis Winston, he holds on the ball too much. You hear me? The nigga hold on the ball too much, and the shit like that is just like that you can't do shit like that, man. Because I seen a couple of plays where the nigga hold the ball too much, trying to force it downfield, and then the shit go for an interception or shit go for a fumble. You know what I'm saying? And you say that you ain't gonna open up the playbook because Sean Payton believes. Who fault is that? That's on Sean Payton. Sean Payton will have to put some trust in Jameis Winston. Said, bro, fuck all this shit. What's the point of bringing Jameis Winston for him to use his arm when Sean Payton's not really using out his strength? So shit crazy.
But you gotta understand something, dog. Jameis Winston went from having Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and OJ Howard, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like that receiving core, like he threw 5,000 yards with that receiving core. Now you go from that to Callaway, Traquan Smith, but Deontay Harris, Chris Hogan. Like, can't none of these dudes really get open like that, dog, consistently.
I give you that.
Hold on, Mookie. Let me respond to what you're saying, man. You're making some great points. Both of y'all making some great points. Jameis Winston career statistics. I mean, well, I ain't even look at his career stuff. His completion percentage, 61.4%. He's 64% for the Saints this current season, based on what he got.
Now you're right. The trust issues you have, you definitely both y'all are absolutely correct on the trust issues, and it's the leaning on Taysom Hill, the in an opportune time of placing Taysom Hill in the game in reference to Jameis Winston's his play, and that you're right. Could you lend it to the fact that he's trying to give the offense a spark, or he simply don't think Jameis can spark it organically? That you have to throw Taysom Hill in there. So you raised a very valid point on there, man.
So, big brother, let me ask you a question about that. Then, you think they sit Jameis and start Taysom?
No, well, no, absolutely not. Jameis is the man. No, absolutely not. Jameis is gonna start. Jameis is gonna start. Listen, and this is the thing. Jameis he only been as the same. He been here last year. He was here last year. But he didn't but he played sporadically. I mean, he was in there for a few plays. That's a big difference in learning a certain amount of the playbook and then implementing it and running it. It's a big difference there. Now you have a familiarity with it that helps, but you still have to put it in practice. You still have to get out there in live game reps and get it. And then the thing that helps them out, you're right. You look at a Deontay Harris and Marquez Callaway, they are not the same as a Mike Evans or a Godwin. You're absolutely
Chris Godwin,
yeah, these guys, it's a difference there. I got to give you that. But the reality is that the Saints offense is not this version of it currently constructed is not based on operating that way. We are a run team.
So and play defense,
run. Yeah, that's what it's based on. The Saints defense and the Saints running tag. It goes through Alvin Kamara. Everything goes through Alvin Kamara. That's how you gain success. But I think Coach Payton having issues when he's mixing Taysom Hill in front of even Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. I don't know if he realizes that he's causing harmony issues right here to the point where you're depriving, like I said before, Kamara gets you down to the red zone. You should reward him by letting him get the touchdown. If Jameis Winston is flowing and he's not screwing up out there and he's making the plays, don't bring him out of the game to put Taysom Hill in so that you can just do a shotgun run to Taysom so he can run the ball off to the right or the left. If you won't do that, leave Jameis out there, but bring in Taysom as a runner. At least that way they'll be confused about what's going on here. Are they going to throw it or are they going to run it? So I mean, it's about switching. It's slight little things that they can change. And about the wide receiver issues, I promise you, bro, that Deontay Harris is the fastest guy. It's between him and Kamara. I'm gonna go Deontay. If you get Deontay,
I'm gonna go Deontay. I'm gonna go Deontay. Deontay is smoking Kamara, dog.
Real talk. That's so true. Too bad he ain't 6'3".
Bro, he gets down the field, bro, and a lot of times they put him out there. We just not reaching him for whatever reason. Like I mentioned, the Taysom Hill throw. Taysom severely underthrow. If he put that ball on the line, he smoked Brad Barrett. So I mean, and Callaway it gets separation too. So it's like, okay, the wide receivers is the issue. That's why we're not throwing the ball down the field and all this kind of stuff. No, that's not entirely the truth. If the Saints are operating the running attack successfully, they'll get opportunities to throw the ball to the tight ends at the second level, and of course they'll get one-on-one matchups because ain't nobody doubling Marquez Callaway or Deontay Harris. Nobody's doubling those guys.
Nobody doubling.
Hey, going off your point about the running game, do you think it was a mistake for us releasing Latavius Murray, our power back? You hear me? Releasing that nigga, man, because it's like, who Jones? What's that nigga name? A backup name Jones or something like that. What's that dude name? Tony Jones Jr. Yeah, he ain't necessarily like a power back like Latavius. So I just think that us releasing Latavius Murray really, necessarily hurt our running attack a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't want to release him, dog. We asked him to take a pay cut, and he said no.
He came down to money.
They had to release him.
But see, they really did, and that's true. You guys are speaking the 100% real. They didn't want to let Latavius go. They wanted to actually have Tony Jones. They wanted to mix Tony Jones in with Kamara because Coach Payton liked what he's seen from him in practicing in the preseason, that he had more of a camaraderie and a synergy with Alvin Kamara. His style complemented Kamara a lot more than Latavius Murray did. So Latavius Murray was a veteran. Nobody wants to lose a guy like Latavius Murray who can get you 4 or 5 yards per carry. We didn't want to lose him, but Coach Payton, wanted to do something with that money. So he put him in the street.
Man, so, big brother, y'all know who. I hope like hell it happened, but I don't think y'all know who gonna be a free agent receiver next year. And he's from New Orleans, right?
Who?
you mean who? That boy went to LSU, nigga. Fuck you mean?
Oh, I need some.
Odell.
Oh no,
Man,
If
we ain't
we
getting
can
Odell.
if we can get Odell, I would love it.
But you ain't trying to hit it.
Nah, bro. We ain't got the
Oh.
money to get Odell, bro.
Hold on. You don't like it, big brother?
No, bro. I mean, and I
Nah,
like
bro.
Odell.
We ain't
He
got the money,
LSU
bro.
dude, but yeah, that's pricey, bro.
Damn
I mean, right
right.
now,
We might as well
people
get a goddamn quarterback. What the fuck?
Bro, people complain about when they give Mike Thomas the money, and Mike Thomas was breaking records.
That man put up stats for the last 5 years. You can't.
But
who said something about that man not get his money?
But a lot of people. Swade was on the show. Several family members mentioned that they didn't want Kamara to get paid. I mean, not Kamara. Mike Thomas to get paid. They didn't want him to get paid. They didn't want. That's too much money for Mike Thomas. He ain't got he can't even run. But give Julio Jones the money though. Don't complain about Julio Jones missing games, but don't give but Mike Thomas, but no, don't pay Mike Thomas. No, the Saints did the right thing. They paid the man, and when they paid him the next season, he had a really good season. Then following after that, he got hurt. He didn't handle it right this past season, but all that'll be in the rearview mirror after this season is over with. We can get back on par. But he does make your offense look a lot better because he draws double teams. He catches everything. I mean, he catches a lot of things. And when you have a wide open attack like what Coach Payton's trying to do, Coach Payton's trying to throw the ball down the field by setting up the running play and sucking the secondary members down to the line of scrimmage and creating one-on-one matchups where he got guys streaking down the field. Now, Mike Thomas ain't going to streak down the field. He ain't fast like, some of our faster receivers. But have we really seen what Mike looks like in a vertical offense?
No, we haven't.
You see what I'm saying? We see the comebacks and slants and all this, but we haven't seen what he can look like in a vertical attack.
Let's keep it a bean. Drew Brees couldn't throw past 20 yards the last couple of years, dog. Fuck you.
Right. Yes, this is true. This is true.
Keep it a bean.
This is true.
He said he was joking
with them 20 yards, though. He
was. He was.
Hey, so y'all saying that Michael Thomas he gonna come back around bye week? Is he should be available around bye week? After bye week?
No, Mike Thomas. I don't think word on the street, Mike Thomas not coming back immediately after the bye week. That's a little further out. Like both what I'm seeing and getting, and the word on the street says that Will Lutz and Mike Thomas, those guys are further down the line. They're a little further out than some of the other guys that's coming back after the bye week, like David Onyemata, it could be Mike McCoy, and several other players, Traquan Smith, Quan Alexander, and several others. You got a lot of players that come back. But Mike Thomas is a little further down. And besides, when he coming off of something like that he was dealing with from last year, you're going to want to handle it with kid gloves going into the season. You don't want to bring him back too soon because that'll be a whole nother situation. So he gonna be out a little further, and rightfully so. He need to get him right.
I was so mad at Michael Thomas, dog. I was screaming at my phone, trade his ass. Trade him. I believe what he did.
I will too.
Trade that motherfucker. I was like, trade his ass. ASAP, Sean Payton.
Yeah, that was fucked up what he did, man. That was really fucked up, man. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I'm like, bro, you had this injury going into the OC. You knew you needed surgery, dog. Why not go ahead and do it so you can get back on the field?
That's what I'm saying, bro. This shit crazy.
When I found out that he knew he had to have surgery and he didn't, I was like, yeah, Sean Payton about to trade his ass, dog.
Yeah.
You know, Sean Payton, a no nonsense type of coach, dog. So I'm like, yeah, he gone.
But Davenport should be back. Davenport should be back too.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Supposed to be after the bye.
At least we get healthy on the defense end, but the offense end, man, it's gonna take a little while, you hear me, for us to get that to that health status.
Come back and make a difference too now.
Yeah. Onyemata just facing the suspension. There's no hurt behind him at all. That's just the suspension he's dealing with. And there's still a thing dealing with that Deontay Harris. It's still Deontay Harris impending suspension because the NFL was so supposed to suspend him for 2 games for the driving under the influence situation, the driving DUI situation that they were supposed to do on weeks 1 and 2. that is still floating
Lord,
around
mercy.
there. So we'll see how it all goes. But the Saints
So
did add.
they'll
The
wait
Saints
till
did add
wait
money.
till the Rams game to want to suspend that boy. You know,
It could be a PJ Williams type situation. Same thing happened with Goodell PJ Williams several years ago when he did the same damn thing. PJ Williams got hit with a driving under the influence situation when he was driving. He got caught on the Crest City connection, I want to say. Driving over the Crest City, he got caught there. They gave him a ticket, and the NFL didn't take him off the field. I mean, Goodell didn't take him off the field until several weeks into the season. Could be a similar situation, but he didn't do any time. Not yet anyway. It was supposed to be weeks 1 and 2, but then nothing ever happened for me. Now, whether they got rid of it, I don't know what happened. I don't know how that works, but I'm still keeping that in the back of my mind about Deontay Harris.
What happened to the Marshawn Lattimore situation on the offseason? Didn't he have like some drug charges or some shit?
That is they can't do nothing with that. We covered that on several shows ago. That nothing gonna become of that, bro.
Okay,
so he was fortunate on that one for that very least. So that was a positive, big time. But yeah,
I thought the NFL was definitely about to suspend his ass for a couple of games.
Yeah, it could have been bad. That could have ended real bad. So he really need to count his blessings. He came out of that stuff, cleaned it up, got rid of, got better, and then went on and got paid. So that's just a big time learning lesson from Laddie Daddy. He really came because that could have went all kind of ways wrong, and it was just good to see that he rebounded on his feet. So it was good. But listen, fam, I appreciate y'all chiming in. I'm about to go out. I'm watching the LSU game. LSU losing to the Kentucky Wildcats right now, 14.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, bro, that's why I don't watch LSU, dog.
Listen, Ed Ogeron gonna have a come to Jesus moment too. The athletic director, you better come on now.
They had a guy called up a radio show. I was watching it on Twitter, and the guy called up there, and the man, it was just weird. He was saying about Bebe, which I guess that's Ogeron's young girlfriend's name, Bebe. But he was saying that he knew that his girlfriend was named Bebe, and it was a big joke. But he didn't. At the end, he's like, "Yeah, well, I just wanted you to give her a shout out." He said, "Well, hey, Bebe, that sounds familiar. I know that kind of name, Bebe." Then the man said, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend." He said, "I'm just hoping that you don't try to have sex with her." And then they hung up on him. Did Coach O that recently, and then Coach O said, "You know what, man?" And Coach O responded by saying, "You know what, man?" He said, "For guys like that, man, there's a special spot in the bayou for them." Meaning there's a hole in that's mafia talk right there. Go put your head in the desert.
Leave Coach O alone. He got some packing going on.
Old Coach O, man, he ain't playing no games. But anyway, fam, listen, I appreciate y'all for chiming in. Thank the great panel and his social 504 brother. Thank you. And Uncle Paulie, man, for popping on the panel, man. Great.
Yes, sir. Salute to the chat channel. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yes, sir. Here. Saints 31-17.
31-17. Saints. Uncle Paulie saying a blowout.
Who that?
What you think, bro?
I hope like hell.
They're gonna win. What's your score?
Man. I got them in a close one, dog. I'm gonna say Redskins 14, Saints 10, dog.
14-10 Redskins. Okay, there you go, man.
Defense is strong.
Like it is, well, that's cool. But thank you, Andy, Social 504, and Uncle Paul. Appreciate y'all, man. Who that to you?
Hey,
I'll let you go tomorrow on the watch stream.
Oh yeah, I'll be here.
Peace. All right, appreciate them chiming in, and I appreciate you guys for chiming in the chat, man. Much love to the Great Saint Think Tank, man. Appreciate you guys. I'll return a little later on to, oh my goodness, to talk about LSU. And Kentucky's a 5-0 team. They're 16th ranked in the nation, so they're not exactly the Kentucky of yesteryear when people used to just go up there and beat the crap out of them. This Kentucky team is actually pretty good, man. They're ranked 16 in the nation at 5-0, 3-0 in conference play, and they're beating the Tigers 14-0 right now. So, I mean, unless we could turn this thing around, man, this, we're going to see. But I'll recap this matchup tonight on Tough Tiger Talk, our other platform that we do. We produce over 45 to 50 shows a month.
and content all over the place. And it's kind of niched down to different streams: boxing stream, Saint stream, Pelican stream, and Ring Kings boxing, among others. So if you want to know where those at, you can look in the description section of this video, and I'm pretty sure they got a link, I think, that's there, as long as our merch links. Got several different merch links. Also in the chat, also we have the merch link for some of the latest pro gear that came out, which is the new Team Jameis jerseys, which you can find access to through our pro shop, or go to the community section of the page and scroll down. You'll see the pro shop link with the Team Jameis shirt. You can go in there and look at it. Not just shirts alone, sleeve shirts. It's a whole catalog of merchandise with the Team Jameis theme. So feel free to look at that, and remember, purchases at the pro shop help out the platform. You can also help out the platform by going to patreon.com/Pro Media Network. That's patreon.com/Pro Media Network, and become a member through YouTube or from Patreon to get access to locked content. There's tons of locked content from the Sports Coma via our YouTube membership and Patreon. When you go Patreon way, you get access to our show, our news show called On Cue with Big Q. Well, we be dropping some serious heavyweight news stuff on there that you're probably not going to find in too many places or venues, but we cover some real stuff on there. A lot of content available there. So with that being said, I'm going to peace you out on that. Listen, fam, y'all have a splendid rest of your Saturday. And remember, I'll be back tomorrow at about 11:15 for the watch stream, the preview and watch stream for all the family members who can't watch the game. Send them to the Sports Coma and let them know, say, man, Big Q up there cutting up. You're going to be doing the watch party there and doing the game, Washington football game right there as well, going down. And then, of course, next week we'll bring in Louis T to come back, who's the Washington football man. He'll come back around next week, win, lose, or draw, win or lose, to recap. So hopefully it's not another fist type situation. Well, I had to eat crow when I told Fist we're gonna beat y'all by at least 10, and then we was up by 10, and then we imploded. So hopefully that don't happen. So with that being said, I'm gonna chime out on that. Much love to the family members. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. Y'all keep your heads up, and I'll see you later. Who that too?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Thank you for making Saints Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
What's up, fam? This is Big Q from the Sports Coma. Much love to the family members. Appreciate y'all. The PRO Media Network is back at it again. Last year, we gave away several PS4s and games. So this year, we're raffling off a PS5. To enter for your chance to win, simply click the link below and fill out all the necessary information to be eligible. Sign up for the raffle. It's $25 to enter. You gain an opportunity to win a system, the PS5 system. Like I said, it's a one remote and everything in it that goes with the full system. These things are hard to come by. It could be yours. Into the raffle today, $25 get you in. There's also a deal when you buy more than one ticket to up your chances of winning. Jump in there. It also it benefits the platform as well. So feel free to sign up for the first annual PS5 raffle from the Pro Media Network. Thank you for participating, and much